Wow, wow, pura vida, mi gente. What is up? What is up, pura vida? ¿Qué me dicen? What you guys saying? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys coming through again. Yeah, I did a couple lives earlier. So I hope you enjoyed the live I did earlier in my yard, in my garden. Just testing out my new phone. Pretty cool. My new phone. You can't see it here. Yeah, but it works. I can go live, so that's good. Yeah, you like the beat? Shout out to Omega 12. Omega 12 for the beat, for the intro. All right. And shout out to all the music producers always. Always, always. All right. I just want to say hi real quick before we get started. You guys can see me. Welcome. Shout out to everybody that is in the chat, in the live chat. Make sure to like and share so we can get more traffic. Not a lot of people here yet. I guess everybody's busy today on their Sunday afternoon. I would think that there would be more people here Sunday night, but it's all good. Thanks for tuning in, those who are here. Okay. So I was let me just go back to the thing. All right. We got some little background music. Shout out to Science for that. Appreciate Science. Yeah. Welcome, welcome. So today we're gonna go ahead and just talk about a couple things. All right. Might be a little long one here. Hope you ain't too sleepy or tired or going to bed yet. Thanks. Super, super excited. So we're gonna be talking about little different things, right? So it's like current events or whatever. You're watching while you finish the shift. That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, anybody who's working, well, welcome while you're working here. Just want to go ahead and start. Guys see we're talking about Black Indians, of course, today, and Black Europeans, but we're also gonna be talking about the latest discovery in the Grand Canyon. Again, proven America's the true old world. I mean, they're gonna keep finding this stuff. They gotta keep up to date with what we're showing, right? They gotta keep up to date. If not, they're gonna look bad. You know? All right. So in the left here we have a so-called Black Indian, right? Melanated person, copper-colored tribes of America. That's Winnipeg Jack. I've shown him a lot. This is him right here. And two Paiwete women on the right. Zoom in on him. He was from Alberta, mostly. He was a Blackfoot Indian. All right. And I know a lot of people like to judge because of the teepees. Those are temporary dwelling places, guys. Those are like tents. You guys have the wrong concept of teepees. Teepees are actually came out from the Eastern Woodland Indians. Eastern Woodland, your people. You know, we've gone over that information on the encyclopedia of the North American Indian contributions to the world, you know, encyclopedia. So, all right, that's Winnipeg Jack. Okay, and over here, I mean, look at these two. All right, look how dark these people are. How wet they, you know, this is like, they don't show you what happened. What happened? Definitely an ethnic cleansing or replacement or something happened, right? Ain't this dark anymore. What happened? All right. And again, we're not blackwashing. We're just showing you the truth. Correcting history. All right, here's a Medicine Man and Winnipeg Jack again. Like within this, that's a close-up of one of them, right? And then go down. We got Winnipeg Jack all the way in the right. He was a Canadian Mountie. He was one of the first Canadian Mounties too, believe it or not. Winnipeg Jack, an American Indian. We got Mandan men and boy. They like to say that Mandans were light skin and blue eyes and all that. These are Mandan Indians. So there was a lot of dark-skinned Indians that were Mandan as well. And over to the left, we got a Sioux, North Dakota, 1880. Let's zoom in on him. All right. Yeah. You remember who you are? Look at that. So I colorized these pictures from black and white. You know, these are, I didn't alter them. People say I like to Photoshop and make darken these images up. I didn't do that, guys. You know, if you believe that, even Dane said I did that a long time ago. Dane said I did that. I'm photoshopping these Indians, right? Like that's why I don't respect Dane anymore, you know. You know, but he was trying to say I was darkening these pictures up. I use MyHeritage. MyHeritage.com has a feature where you can colorize pictures, black and white, so you can go try it yourself with any black and white picture and go see if it works or not, all right? You can look for images of Winnipeg Jack and do it yourself, all right? Again, Winnipeg Jack on the left here on the horse, you know, as a Mountie. Yeah, let me zoom in. As a Mountie, look at that, right? He got fringes on his horses and everything, right? And then we got, whoop. These Siouan or Sioux chiefs, man, on horse, right? See how dark they were? Which tribe had blondest redder hair? I don't know what you're asking me. On their arms, because I what? Oh man, I don't know. Sometimes you guys' questions kind of like throw me off a little bit. So I just wanted to show Winnipeg Jack. Right? There goes the black and white photo I colorized, you see? You know, when you start colorizing, this is what you kind of find, you know? And then we're gonna talk about, we're gonna show a book, right? Shout out to the NAAS from Canada. They created a PDF of some online images of tobacco Indians, right? So we're gonna check out that book. I just shared it on my Patreon page for anybody that wants that PDF. Pretty cool. This I just wanted to show is from the history of signboards from the earliest times to the present day by Jacob Larwood. It says blackamoors and other dark-skinned foreigners have always this is in England, right? That's why they're calling them foreigners. So these are things from England. This book is regarding to the tobacco shops in England, where they have all these images of American Indians as so-called black people, right? Like that's what they're saying here, or as so-called blackamoors and other dark-skinned foreigners have always possessed considerable attractions as signs for tobacconists and sometimes also for public houses. Negroes, listen, I can't make this up, right? Negroes with feathered headdresses and quilts, smoking pipes. Let me just zoom in on that part. You think I'm not just making up stuff, right? So Negroes with feathered headdresses and quilts, smoking pipes are to be seen outside tobacco shops on the continent, as well as in England. Thus, in the 17th century, there was one in Amsterdam with the following inscription, and it goes on. That's from the book. I just took a little excerpt out. Again, History of Signboards, The History of Signboards by Jacob Larwood. Go ahead and check it out. Yep. So, all right. Cool. Cool, right? Yeah, what are they telling us, right? What are they telling us, huh? So let me see, let me pull up there we go. Okay, so real quick, this is my Patreon page, guys. All right, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. That's my Patreon page. Thank you, J9, for that. J9 also posted it. I just shared this book right here. Virginia Tobacco Indians, Volume 1, again from NAAS of Canada. It's national, or I forget what it's, I forget the abbreviation, but I've shown some of their books, the brother's books he put together, which was the allegory of the continents, all these images in Germany and other places, but mostly Germany, and the walls of these old buildings, what you want to call old world or Tartarian buildings, right? They're showing the 4 continents of the world, and they're always representing America as, you know, so-called Black Indians, you know, and that's what we showed. We have a whole playlist of that allegory of the continents, allegory, you know, of the 16th century. very old books. I mean, very old videos. We might go over those again one day. So I just shared this right now before I went live, 44 minutes ago. You know, you can get that. And again, I got other books, the 6 Black Presidents, and so on and so on. You guys already know. This is a book we've been reading recently. America, the Background of Columbus. Very good book, right? Gets pretty deep. We dodge the hijack. We pull out the babies, and so on, guys. You know, a lot of books. Let me just go all the way down. A lot of books. You know, there's a post here with like 22 books. You know, in one post. You know, we got from my videos, the Hebrew Israelites or the Israelite tribes of America, right? We got exclusive videos. Let's see this one. So this is 22 of Anatoly Fomenko's. So why am I showing you this? Just in case you like to support, you know, just trying to make sure I have enough because I got to go on a trip and I got to pay bills. And if you want to support me in any way, I'm gonna be doing a lot of lives in Jamaica. It's not just vacation, but we're gonna go meet the people, right, in Jamaica. So if you'd like to support me again, this is one way. I translated this book from Spanish. I did this book right here. I can probably post this on Amazon. I probably will. Translation by Kurimeo, right? So this was a Spanish book, which I translated completely into English on my own, right? And this is a great book on when it comes to the Olmec, a little bit understanding context behind, you know, the Olmec. Not what just people just, you know, kind of say all the time, but we got exclusive videos. This was a great discussion we had one day. Noah and albino. Ancient Man, the handling. Look at this. These are some great books here. Not Out of Africa. A great book right here. How Afrocentrism became an excuse to teach myth as history. Yep. Atlantis Ruins in America newspaper article from 1858. Rathman's Journal. This is a great article. I shared exclusive video that was blocked. This is the full video because the other one got blocked. I had to shorten it. Actually, it's only like 14 minutes they left on my YouTube. They like took out the rest of the video. But yeah, so in case you want to like you know, help out, contribute, support, you can go to my Patreon and do that. There's a chat where everybody can chat and share things and talk to each other, talk to me. There's also private message where you can reach me. You know, a lot of people do that, guys. A lot of people talk to me. So in the public chat, people, anybody can post, not just me. And I just wanted to show you this. Shout out to Joseph Rosales. He told me he told me about this first before I saw Katrina posted 2 days ago. So shout out to both of them, Katrina Taylor as well. What are we talking about? Look, this is from the Homeland Security, guys, and I can't believe that in 2025, Homeland Security is literally posting this. I'm gonna explain to you what Manifest Destiny is. We have videos discussing this. Okay, this is not a good thing. Manifest Destiny is not a good thing. It's imperialism, it's colonialism. It's the relocation and murder and enslavement of American Indians. Disfranchisement of American Indians. That's what Manifest Destiny is. And they recently posted this. Look, July 23rd, 2025. Got 15 million views. They recently posted this. Did the Department of Homeland Security just tweet out a Nazi dog whistle by Prantacular, right? So there's an article on it. And look what they put, Homeland Security. So this is Trump's people, right? Like Trump and his people, and he probably told them to. So, right, they're cleaning up. See, you guys, a lot of you are like, yeah, let's get all the immigrants out. You don't understand. He's not doing that for you guys, for black folks or melanated people or whatever. There's a white superiority thing going on right now. When we say white, we don't mean like hate all white people. We mean his view, Trump's and these people's elites view, the racist superiority view of what they want to turn America into. And look at this, Homeland Security, huh? What does they have to do with this? Why would they post this? A heritage to be proud of, homeland worth defending, huh? American progress, John Gass, huh? So the image is very symbolic, all right? The image is very symbolic. I just wanted to show you guys that. Okay, and we're gonna, I'm gonna go to the Wikipedia, just so you can understand a little bit. You know, let's just look at the image real quick. Right. So you got Indians over here dancing. They're good. So some Indians did treaties. And like, yeah, we good. So they got their railroads coming. You guys know, wherever they built railroads, they destroyed everything. They disconnected certain towns or places. So if the railroad didn't go through there, that other town got literally erased. And no income was going to these towns. A lot of those towns were so-called black towns. If the train didn't go there, then the town kind of fell off, became ghost towns or got flooded. So of course you got Indians that are running away. You got, you know, the colonizers coming in, right? And we don't know if that's Lady Liberty or Ishtar or the Madonna or Queen Diana, you know, but that's what they symbolizing, right? See, this is their progress, right? This is their progress. This is what they're posting on Homeland Security. Let's just read a little bit. It says, manifest destiny leader was the imperialist belief in the 19th century United States that American settlers were destined to expand westward across North America, and that this belief was both obvious, manifest, and certain destiny. Hey, they say, hey, we got the right, it's our destiny, right? So again, I know a lot of people want to think, oh, the white man, even though they're painting white, there was black Europeans involved in this too, all right? It was just, in general, colonist, whatever form of colonist, manifesting their destiny, not waiting for it. And it's not like a prophetic destiny, it's a manifest. They did it. They made sure they took over. The belief is rooted in American exceptionalism, romantic nationalism, and white nationalism, which is a type of racial nationalism or pan-nationalism, which espouses the belief that white people are a race and seek to develop and maintain a white racial national identity. This is what the Homeland Security is posting, guys. Do you understand? Homeland Security is posting this. They just posted it recently too. Right? Do what thou wilt, like Aleister Crowley, a Satanist. Do whatever you want. Don't listen to the Most High. Don't follow the code. Do whatever you want, huh? How was my day, Dante? Well, we went live earlier, Dante. Yeah, I hope you check it out. I'm going to go ahead and show you. So all these ideas, right? Implying the inevitable spread of republicanism and the American way. The American way, even though they're the colonists. And we already know Amaru Khan, American Amaru, that's an indigenous word. What do you mean American way? It is one of the earliest expressions of American imperialism, which is the expansion of political, economic, cultural, media, military influence beyond the boundaries of the United States, depending on the commentator. So now it's beyond, but now this was in the moment when they were spreading here, taking it from the Indians. They were the foreigners coming here, right? According to historian William Earl Weeks, there were three basic tenets behind the concept. The assumption of the unique moral virtue of the United States, the assertion of its mission to redeem the world by the spread of Republican government, and more generally, the American way of life. The faith in the nation's divinely ordained destiny to succeed in this mission. Manifest destiny remained heavily divisive in politics, causing constant conflict with regards to slavery in the new states and territories. Like I said, enslaving the Indians, murdering them, relocating them, taking all their land, disfranchising them, reclassifying them. It is also associated with the settler colonial displacement of indigenous Americans, okay, all right? The displacement of indigenous Americans. So why is Homeland Security posting this, tweeting this? This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. You guys don't understand how big this is. July 23rd, this is a couple days back. All right, they don't care. They're putting it in our faces. And they're reminding us what they did to your people, to our people. Homeland Security, you think they care about you, right? You think they care about you, right? Again, the displacement of indigenous Americans and the annexation of lands to the west of the United States borders at the time on the continent. The concept became one of several major campaigns issued during the 1844 presidential election, where the Democratic Party won, and the phrase manifest destiny was coined within a year. The Democratic Party won in 1844, huh? That reminds me of something. That reminds me of something. I want to show you guys something. Okay? I want to show you something. We're going to go back to our images. The Democratic Party won, huh? Check this out. This is from those times. This is from those times, 1844, right? The two platforms. Look, hold up. The Democratic platform is for the white man. The Republican platform is for the Negro and the carpetbagger. But see how it switched over the years? The two platforms. Every radical in Congress voted for Negro suffrage. Every radical in the Pennsylvania state voted for Negro suffrage. Steven, okay, so it's, but you guys see, read the platforms. Clymer's platform is for the white. Gary's platform is for the Negro. And you see the races, see how they draw. Okay, so who won? The Democratic Party won, huh? The two platforms. The Democratic platform is for the white man, the Republican platform for the Negro. You see? You see how it has changed over the years? All right, I just wanted to show you guys that, remind you. So we're just talking about some headlines, right? Latest events, headlines of what's going on. Homeland Security, letting you know what their plan is still. What they got away with, they put it in our face, and now they put it in our faces again. All right, just wanted to show you guys that. All right. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Make sure to subscribe. We got a lot of good drop for you. All right, make sure you subscribe so you can chat as well in the live chat. I appreciate everybody that's here, tuned in the live chat, by the way. We had a great video earlier, you know. I was blogging in my yard. I only got like 900 some views. Like, what's up, though? What's up, guys? You don't like that? I thought you liked me talking in my yard. You know, I thought you guys like that. What's up? You don't want to see what we were talking about? We were chilling. We were chilling, you see? We were chilling, talking for about an hour, showing my garden a little bit. Look at my tomatoes. Look at my tomatoes. All right, my peppers. All right. Yeah. You missed that, huh? So check out, this probably is going to be a private members video soon. So make sure to check it out if you're not a member. What we're talking about. You know, a lot of people was asking questions while I was live and stuff, and I was just addressing the comments. All right, so make sure to check it out. All right, that was a pretty good time earlier. We were also testing my new phone, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. All right, now let's get to one of the main stories here, right? You know what's funny, y'all? So Homeland Security posted this July 23rd, right? July 23rd. What else happened July 23rd that you didn't hear about? We're in phys.org, physics.org, kind of, right? It says here, July 23rd, huh? Same day, July 23rd. It says fossil discovery reveals the Grand Canyon was a Goldilocks zone for the evolution of early animals. Say what? You guys understand the impact of this? Like, they're not saying like this was happening all over the world. You gotta must understand, right? Like, when we're talking about the oldest land coming out of the primordial waters, we're talking about in America, we got the Laurentian Mountains. Geology proves it. It's the oldest land in the world, guys. So, you know, the whole Antilles, and then eventually, you know, reaching all over the Americas. One of the first lands, and we already showed that mammals came out of the Americas. They call it the Pennsylvanian period. Let's see if I can just pull it up. You know, this is just me surfing the wave, right? Pennsylvanian period. Why do they call it Pennsylvanian period and not African period or Mesopotamian period? The Pennsylvanian geology. Look, they're showing Pangaean, the continents were a little different, the North Atlantic continent, Gondwana, you see all that? Remember what we've been reading earlier? I mean, recently. You got all night, you're at work, that's what's up. Yeah, not Africa. So it says the Pennsylvanian, also known as the Upper Carnivorous, right? That's another way, but they call it, it's one of the ISC geologic timescales, that the younger of two super periods of the Carboniferous period. Right? What is important about this? It lasted roughly 323 million years ago to 298 million years, according to them, right? The division between Pennsylvanian and Mississippian comes from North American stratigraphy. This is how they're measuring time, guys. And I don't know if you knew this, but they're calling it Pennsylvanian, then the Mississippian period comes, because that's all happening here, guys. The Pennsylvanian was in the past treated as a full-fledged geological period between the Mississippian and the Permian. In parts of Europe, the Mississippian and Pennsylvanian are one or more or less continuous sequence of lowlands, continental deposits, and are grouped together as a Carnivorous period. So while we had mad land here coming up, it was just islands and stuff in Europe and all the other parts of the world, right? Life. All modern classes of fungi have been found in rocks of Pennsylvanian age. Talking about the true old world, guys. Like, we have videos on this. I got videos on this, breaking this down a lot more deeper with the science. And the Pennsylvanian, why did they call it Pennsylvanian? If it's happening all over the world, because it's happening mainly right here first. The major forms of life at this time were the anthropods. Anthropods were far larger than modern ones. Anthropleurodon, a giant millipede, was a common sight. So it's commonly considered that it's okay. So vertebrates, amphibians were diverse and common. Some were several meters. So what's happening at invertebrates coming up, right? Come and look at the Antilles Island right here. So come from the Laurentian Mountains, connected. You know, these are their supposed maps, right? The collapse of the rainforest ecology in the mid-Pennsylvania between Muscovy and Cassimodo removed many amphibian species. Yeah. So eventually starts talking about mammals. They kind of took it out. I remember they was talking about mammals. So literally, we have a whole book, we have a whole video proving what I'm saying. So this kind of goes with what they're finding here now in the Grand Canyon. More proof. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Mount Babel video, as Dante is saying in the chat, that's what I'm talking about. That's near the Laurentian Mountains, guys. That's right. That's the original. That's what I'm saying. And I have talked about that, Dante Brown. I don't have to like do a specific video on that. UBTV did good enough. I mentioned it in a lot of different videos. Just got to catch up. But yeah. So again, fossil discovery reveals the Grand Canyon was a Goldilocks zone for the evolution of early animals. More proof. More proof, guys. A treasure trove of exceptionally preserved early animals from more than 500 million years ago has been discovered in the Grand Canyon. What are they hiding in the Grand Canyon? Why don't they let people go in there? Why is it protected by the FBI? What is in the Grand Canyon? We already know. We got a video on, you know, what they found there, you know, talking about temples and, you know, mummies and all this other stuff, so-called Egyptian stuff, right? Buddhist stuff, right? All this stuff. We got a whole video of Kincaid's expedition there, which supposedly never happened. The Smithsonian says, oh, it never happened. Even though there's an article in the newspapers talking about it from those times. The rich fossil discovery, the first such find in the Grand Canyon, includes tiny rock scraping mollusks, filter feeding crustaceans, spiky-toothed worms, and even fragments of the food they likely ate. By dissolving the rocks, these animals were fossilized, and then examining them under high-powered microscope, researchers led by the University of Cambridge were able to get a highly detailed picture of unique periods in the evolution of life on Earth. Not just America, but Earth. Saber-tooth bones, we got every animal here. Xochitl, welcome to the channel. Mammals, carnivores, all that originated first in the Americas, because this is what this is what they're talking about, the evolution of early animals. All that, you know, whatever you want to see it as, you want to see it as the creation period, you know, in Genesis, that's happening right here. This is what we're trying to explain, guys. That's happening right here in the Americas. That's why we got a lot of those animals that ended up in Africa were right here. We had lions, we had all that. Cheetahs, the cheetahs originated in America. I got videos on all this, you know? I got videos on all this. That's what I'm saying. If you're new to the channel, check out the playlist. Check out the playlist, guys. Let me see. Origin, look, this one. This is a good one. This is what I'm talking about. Look, origin of animals in America, the true old world. So let me but date at it. No, 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 no. They published all this. There we go. There we go. Ancestors of all elephants in America. What Lion King? Look, the lion here was way bigger than the ones in Africa. World's oldest mammal fossils found in America. Oldest fossil. Look, so we got the oldest fossil animal, and then we got the actual oldest fossil in general. Near Quebec again, near the Laurentian Mountains. Look, the African cheetah originated in America, the true Eden. Like, origin of camels. We just did this the other day. Horses in America, all right? Dogs, all that. Like carnivores, we've broken it down. We've broken it down one of my very old videos, which is actually not here. I gotta add it. I gotta add it to this. We talked about all this stuff, all right? Check out the playlist if you're new. The fossilized animals date from between 507 and 502 million years ago, during a period of rapid evolutionary development known as the Cambrian explosion, when most major animal groups first appear in the fossil record. That's happening right here, guys. In some areas during this period, nutrient-rich waters powered an evolutionary arms race, with animals evolving a wide variety of exotic adaptations for food, movement, or reproduction. Most animal fossils from the Cambrian are of hard-shell creatures, but in a handful of locations around the world, such as where? Canada's, which has the oldest land in the world, formation in China's Maotiachan shells, conditions are such that softer body parts could be preserved before they decayed. So far, however, fossils of non-skeletonized Cambrian animals had been known mostly from oxygen and resource-poor environments, unlikely to kickstart the most complex innovations that shaped early animal evolution. Now, the Grand Canyon has revealed the first soft-bodied. The what? The first. The only one, the first in the world, guys. The first in the world. Scientists are telling you, the first. What are they hiding in the Grand Canyon? Okay. Or non-mineralized Cambrian fossils from an evolutionary Goldilocks zone that would have provided rich resources for the evolution of early animals to accelerate. Again, America's the true old world. How many times are we gonna tell you? How much more proof? Like, I got so much. I got so many things, guys. Let me see. I have another playlist that kind of goes with this. Let me see. Well, we got forbidding archaeology one. We got the forbidding archaeology one. What else? I don't know if we got forbidding this one, forbidding archaeology. I know I got another one, which is where is it? Where is it? World's oldest. So let me see if this comes up. World's oldest. World's oldest civilization, Atlantis. First inhabitants of Asia came from America. Yeah, they hating. They ain't trying to pull up my videos. They ain't trying to pull up my videos. Look, world's oldest trees and forests in New York. Terraforming and living things began in America. Guys, like, this is all science. This is stuff they don't really emphasize or show you guys. Or, you know, they're supposed to be rewriting history as they're finding this stuff. This is all new stuff they're finding. Look, humans in San Bernardino. We just redid the video the other day, 200,000 years ago. Right? It is a lot more, and there's a lot more. All right, there's a lot more videos. They're just not. Yeah, the haters. You saw the haters, right? The true old world. Yeah, we got so much. All right, we got so much. So these rare fossils give us a fuller picture of what life was like during the Cambrian period, said first author Giovanni Mussini, a PhD student in Cambridge Department of Earth Sciences. By combining these fossils with traces of their burrowing, walking, and feeding, which are found all over the Grand Canyon, all over the Grand Canyon, all over, we're able to piece together an entire ancient ecosystem. Okay, and so it goes on, and there's a related article where it actually comes from, which is this one from science.org. And this one's pretty cool because it's showing some images here. So again, evolutionary escalation and an exceptionally preserved Cambrian biota from the Grand Canyon, Arizona. Arizona was underwater at some point, you know, a lot of it, or it had a lot of shores. Exceptionally preserved fossil assemblages or conserving large and and open direct windows on non-biomineralized faunas that chronicle the Cambrian radiation of animal phyla. All right, there's a lot of science talk here. However, these assemblages do not typically capture the well-oxygenated, resource-rich environment sustaining most metazoan diversity in modern marine systems. We describe exceptionally preserved and articulated carbonate mesofossils from the Middle Cambrian, Bright Angel Formation of the Grand Canyon. All right, this is the years, and so on and so on. Right now, I want to show you guys something. Hold on, there's like an image thing here. Let me see. Oh, yep, here we go. So these I thought these images were pretty cool. Hold on. Reconstruction showing paleo-environmental map of Western North America in the middle to Lake Cambrian. They're saying about 500 million years ago, right? So what's here? Check it out. So I don't know if you guys noticed. So up here is Canada, right? This is Canada. And you see how they got the equator? You see the equator line? It's actually going the opposite way. It's going vertically, not horizontally, how we are shown the equator. You guys see that? That's big. And you see like down here would be, so down here, oh, here we go. That's how we zoom in. Good. Okay, you see equator going up, the equator line going the opposite way. Right here, we got Nebraska, Oklahoma, right? We got Texas down here and Arizona and all these places. Look, this is where they're finding a lot of this underwater. It was underwater. Okay, that's what they're saying, right? What I'm trying to show you guys. Okay, articulated proximal tract showing flaring proximal region, and you know, so this is the thing. You guys can just Google this and you'll find it. Look at this. Look at this. Scales. What's that? We talking about reptiles or dracons scales? Look at this. Or fish scales, or what are we seeing here? Right? They're finding all this all over the Grand Canyon. They see, oh, we can see the evolution of animals. The evolution of animals. All right, again, America's the true old world. America's the true old world. America's the true old world. Ah, man, why are they not oldest land? Let me see. Why is that video not popping up? Why is that video not popping up? They hating. They are hating. It's a specific video that I kind of mentioned all this stuff on. It's not popping up. Okay. Oh, this one right here, guys. This one right here. America had, look at this one right here. I'm gonna put it in the on the chat. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Okay. Make sure to check this video out if you haven't. Right. Hold on. Let the commercial go by. So the video is called America Has the Oldest Water. Oh yeah, that's what they found. They found the oldest H2O. How did they do that? Like, but they did it. They found, oh, this seems to be the oldest water in the world, the oldest land, the oldest fossils on Earth. Not just animal fossils, just fossils in general, scientifically proven. And then we go over the Popol Vuh creation story, which is very similar to the creation story in Genesis, literally, word for word, verbatim. Okay, verbatim. So on this one, we go over a lot of things, guys. Like really, we go over a lot of things. So let me just get to some. Check it out. World's oldest water found in Canada. Oxford researchers say it dates back 1.6 billion years. The ad is still black. I see what you're, what do you mean? Kasai love, what do you mean by that? Like, you know, just skip the ads, guys. We're, you know, this was only 5 seconds. So, all right, we went over a lot of these the articles. There's a Mesopotamia in Argentina. Oh, no, let me just, I'm just showing you. Look at that. Guys, did you guys know that? And look how beautiful it is. And there's a lot of water and a lot of things can grow there. And it's like an Eden. So what Mesopotamia are they really talking about? Right, check it out. And then we got world's oldest water found in Canada sheds light on the beginning of life. This is from 2021. The beginning of life. So what do you need for life in general, right? You need water, right? We all need water. Animals, us, everything needs water. And if you're finding the oldest water here in Canada, very close to the Laurentian mountain range, which is the oldest land, guys, I mean, you gotta just be in denial, you know? You just gotta be in denial if you're not understanding what the significance of all this is, you know? You're in denial. World's oldest water. How do they measure that? Well, we'll go over the articles. We show how they measure that and what they concluded, all these scientists, right? Look, Canadian Geographic, oldest water in the world, discovered in Canada. 2 billion-year-old water held deep in Earth's crust. So we got, in the Grand Canyon, we're showing the evolution of animals coming up. We know that the Pennsylvanian period is when mammals and amphibians and vertebrates are, why they call it Pennsylvanian period. All right. All right. Geological sketches by Louis Agassiz, the most famous geologist. You have to take his course. You got to read his book to when you study geology. Chapter 1, America, the Old World, right? You guys know all this? First born among the continents, though so much later in culture and civilization, right? America, so far as her physical history is concerned, has been falsely denominated the New World. Falsely, okay? It's the oldest land. It's right there in the Laurentian Mountains, guys. This is where we're showing the Laurentian Mountains. Oldest land and same region where the Tower of Babel and UBTV's video is. It's right here, this little circle right here. I know I can't zoom into it, but this little circle right there. That's where he did his video on. Oh, check it out. I actually talk about it. Let's just go real quick.
Lawrence River and Ottawa River, rising to the highest point of 1,166 meters at Mount Royal Blanchard, northeast of Quebec City. Now down here it says the Laurentian mountain range is one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world. You see, we ain't just making things up. It contains rock deposits before the Cambrian period. All right, before that, the Laurentians are the central part of the Greenville orogeny, dating back to around 1 billion years. Now what I want to show you is, you see guys the image right here where they're saying it's the Laurentian range, and it actually extends even more. This is a close-up of what I wanted you to see is the circle right here. Do you guys see this circle right here? All right, so shout out to UBTV, UB News, good brother. He did a great video back then about the Tower of Babel and its location. Yeah, this is the circle we were just looking at. You see this perfect circle? And you know what this mountain is called here, guys? It's called Mount Babel. Mount Babel. All right, let me go back to the other image. You see that circle, as you guys can see, is part of that mountain range. If this is the oldest land, and Babel, right? Babylon, the Tower of Babel, was from an old time. It kind of makes sense. is starting to make sense. And you see this? Why would they name this Mount Babel? Now it says here the Laurentians, a very concise history, part 1. Very, very long ago, over 1 billion years at least, the first mountain range on Earth was squeezed upward by the movements of tectonic plates deep in the surface of the planet. These first mountains are still here, although altered by ancient volcanic activity and worn and scraped by several ice ages. In Quebec, this mountainous area is called the Laurentians. So we go back to the book Geological Sketches by Louis Agassiz from 1873, very scholarly book. All right, one of the most famous geologists. He confirmed America is the firstborn among the continents, the oldest land. All right, and seems to be in Canada. Right.
All right, you guys, see, we got receipts for days. We got receipts for days, literally matching what it's telling us on these articles. Again, first, right? We read earlier, the first soft-bodied has revealed, the Grand Canyon has revealed the first soft body, just like we got the oldest water, the oldest fossil, the oldest land, the oldest trees, the oldest forest, and we still today got the tallest and oldest trees living in the Americas, guys. This is all the stuff they don't teach you. They don't want you to think about. They want you to think about Africa and Asia and theories and all that. All right, you guys understand what I'm showing you? Hopefully you understand and appreciate what I'm showing you. Shout out to Joseph, all right, for sharing this. Joseph Rosales, all right, brother. Yeah, the Grand Canyon, the oldest, all right, so let me see what else. Okay. Look at this, guys. World's...
Hola.
Ahora. Cha. That's the hijack. Ahora. All right. So, SciNews, right? .com, world's oldest known fossils found in Canada push evidence for life back 70 million years. All right, so like I said, it's not just the oldest animals. The oldest animal fossil is in Brazil, the Brasilodon. That's a mammal. But when we talk about just in general, any type of little microorganism or fossil, it was found here in the Americas, guys. It was found here in the Americas, okay? So check, that's what I'm saying. Check out this video so you can get the whole drop. How they determine all this stuff, right? So look how many world's oldest I'm showing you. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you guys, I don't think you guys understand. Oh yeah, and then we got them talking about it, right? We got them talking about it.
We were able to identify the microfossils as the oldest known microfossils on Earth.
This is a slab that's been polished. There are these structures here. It is cut on the right-hand side, but you can see kind of a structure that bends the layering in this rock. And it is within these features in part that we find the microfossils.
In diameter, the microfossils are half the width of a human hair. They can be anything up to 0.5 millimeter in length.
The microfossils we discovered are about 300 million years older than the previously thought oldest microfossils. These rocks have a minimum age of 3.77 billion years, but some scientists in the field consider them to be as old as 4.28 billion years. So they are within a few hundred million years from...
That's the hijack with their space stuff, all right? So yeah, we just went over, Alex, the world's oldest water. I just showed that. So welcome. If you caught us late here. World's oldest fossil possibly uncovered in Canada. Possibly. Oh, they determined it was. Look, world's oldest fossil found in Canada. All right. This is many articles. Fossil discovery substantially rewrites history of life on Earth. Just like what they're discovering in the Grand Canyon recently. This is what I'm telling you guys. Right? This one, look how it's all happening. Like, this is what I'm saying. They're not finding any of this in Africa or over there in Mesopotamia. You guys got to understand how important this is and the impact and why you can see a deliberate cover-up of history when nobody's really teaching this stuff or telling anybody this stuff, right? Okay, do you guys, understand how deep this is? Right? Let's continue. I got more stuff. Let me see. Mammals. All right, this is what I was saying, mammals, and then it tells you when it happened. And this mammal, Wikipedia tells you Pennsylvania period. And so that's what I'm saying, like Pennsylvania subperiod. Look, Hypnocida, a clade that contains mammals and their extinct relatives, originated during the Pennsylvania subperiod. Why is it called the Because that's where it's happening, guys. And why did they know that? Because of the coal, I think, or the ground. They know that it was rich. It explains it. You got to watch the video. So it's not just because it's called that, but they explain why it would be there. Why would mammals be coming out or forming there? Pennsylvania subperiod. Look, carnivorous tropical forest. That's how Pennsylvania looked back in the day. Yeah, that area of the world, you know. So the coal, yeah. So Pennsylvania saw the disappearance of warm, shallow seas of the Mississippian. So these are periods they're naming based on America, right? Causing dramatic change in marine life. The warm, clear seas of the Mississippian gave way to cool, muddy water, resulting in a decline in crinoids from which they never recovered. On land, coal, swamp forests thrived during this period. The dead plant material was laid down in huge amounts, gradually forming today's coal, right? Remember what is known for. These areas are known for coal resources today, and they had a lot of mines there in the Pennsylvania, all these areas. They were getting coal. So that coal helped animals evolve, and mammals come out, and it gets deep. I read the whole article, right? Read the whole article. You guys gotta. All right. So it actually increased oxygen in the atmosphere too. Like what's happening here in the Americas, right? Pennsylvania forests and swamps were home to a rich diversity of animals, particularly winged insects. Insects and other arthropods were the main herbivores. Vertebrates had not yet evolved. Why? That's a little, you see, now look, you go a little down, the land starts coming up more. We just read, right? Vertebrates started coming out. And Grand Canyon, they're starting to see that right here, right? This is what I'm saying. Look how it all connects. This is how it all connects. So this is happening all here, okay? All here. Pennsylvania geology. Okay, world's oldest known fossils found in Canada. Let's keep going, hold on. And then the crops, the foods. Let me just show you guys this. We've gone over this so much. American food crops.
You're that person in the office that...
Oh, come on with your hijack. Come on with the hijack. So American food plans, right? We contributed so much to the world, guys. Right? Look at this. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Go back, Says, of 640 food crops grown in Africa today, almost 600 of them originated in the Americas, okay? Okay? We talking about Mama Africa when we had to give you all the food. What you mean? We still feeding the world. We still feeding the world, guys. All right? You know, that's just one video. Check this out. World's oldest trees. What? Yeah, world's oldest trees and forests in New York. We're not just talking about the ones that are living. We're talking about that have gone there in the past. What was the first one? Where was the first one? We're talking about the same region, almost near the Laurentian Mountains, right? Laurentian Mountains, right? And then we're talking about New York, Catskill, and Cairo, New York, and Catskill, and New York, upstate New York. It's not that far. Look, you can walk 156 hours and you get there. That's what I'm kind of showing, right? That's kind of what I'm showing. Look at this. CNN, the world's oldest known fossil forest has been discovered in a quarry in Upper New York. Okay? How many more world's oldest before you start repeating with me, America's the true old world, all right? Before you're confident enough to tell everybody and show everybody. Science has already proven it. Everybody's already proven it. Again, all these things are recent. This is from 2019. This is all like in the last 20 years, right? In the last 10 years, all this is happening. And they still haven't updated the textbooks. They're still hiding this from everybody. Evidence of the world's oldest forest. So not just the trees, but the oldest forest dating back some 385 million years has been discovered in an abandoned quarry in upstate New York, according to a new study published in Current biology. The fossilized root footprints of an ancient landscape belong to trees with wood and leaves similar to what we see today. We're talking about the oldest trees. We're talking about the very first trees that came up, you know, when Hawaii was creating the world. When the world was being created, guys. All right. This is let me show you. This is one of the so that's like right here, you see that? That's evidence of ancient roots. Ancient roots, right? New York. Scientists have discovered the world's oldest forest in an abandoned quarry near Cairo, New York. Cairo, like Cairo, Egypt. The 385-million-year-old rocks contain the fossilized woody roots of dozens of ancient trees. Okay. You guys understanding? This is major drop. Like, this is major. We've had this. This is from a year ago. This video is from a year ago. The one I showed you previous to that was even older. Have you watched these videos? Are you catching up on my older videos? I told you my older videos are not old. They're still relevant because most of this info nobody still knows. It's not public info yet. It hasn't been put in textbooks. It's not being taught in universities. Yeah, they're finding things with LiDAR, but that's ruins, right? That's temples. That's this. We're talking about older stuff. We're talking about older stuff here, right? Modern trees emerged earlier than previously believed. New research reveals. That's the one in New York. You know, many articles I showed on this, right? Ancient New York. Research gives a snapshot of the oldest forest in the world. Okay? This is big. Why am I showing you these older videos? Because it goes with what they're discovering in the Grand Canyon. Fossil discovery reveals the Grand Canyon was a Goldilocks zone for the evolution of early animals. The Pennsylvania Pier we just read. Mammals, rich animals were, you know, coming out. Two of Earth's earliest fossil forests, Catskill Mountains. Two of the Earth's earliest fossil forests, Catskill Mountains. You guys know upstate New York. All right. Oldest root system in the world found, fossilized in America, guys. And then they break it down, you know, like I'm showing the whole science, right? You know, the whole, yeah, what they go off. Right? Man. Terraforming and living things began in America. All right. This is a great video. Okay. So we're gonna stop right there with that. We're gonna stop right there with that, right? I just wanted to go ahead and talk about this today real quick. All right. Today I just want to go ahead also and just go over some videos. We're gonna do a couple little shorts. Oh, did I? Hold on. I got it. Make sure I got. Let's see. Make sure. Shout out to History Wills. I'm explaining to you guys. Okay. Yeah, we got that one. Yeah, okay. So this is my Instagram, guys. In case you don't know, I have an Instagram, right? We're gonna go over some little shorts here real quick. Shout out to, I'm gonna show you. Shout out to who? Watch. Because he's doing, like he's doing it the right way. I hate TikTok, honestly. Like I hate TikTok only because you can't copyright anybody. People grab my clips and they have a whole TikTok channel with just my videos, and they don't ever put, hey, this is Kurimeo talking. They just use my videos for their bias. Whatever video they like and whatever clip they like, specific clip, they share it and they leave everything else out with no context, right? They want to push the Black Indian stuff only. That's what they grab from my channel. They never show no Black European stuff, right? So Yeah. So anyways, yeah. Oh, skinfolk and kinfolk. Let me see. Let me see what we got here. Should have medium or dark brown color. Different shades are so-called Africans. Oh, skinfolk and kinfolk and everybody don't look the same. In any case, another association gradually arose, and that was between Negro and slave. Okay. Early legislation commonly referred to Negro and other slaves, or to Negro, mulatto, and Indian slaves. Over the years, Negro and Black both became synonymous with enslavement. That right there is the spell they put on everybody. So because you were Black in the 1700s, you're supposed to be enslaved, right? Or if you're being called Negro or Black, or if you even they find that you're a free Black or free Negro, right? In those times, they'll make up the story. They'll add the conjecture that, oh, maybe he's been freed, so he's a free Black. What if he was never enslaved? And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. There's a deep hijack when it comes to history. If knowledge people being, classified incorrectly, right? Usually translated as Black. The automatic association of Negro yesterday or Negro. Oh, that's what you meant. Now we're very clear. Donker, and Bruin. Bruin, huh? Oh, you told me. Oh, I thought you made me think Bruin. You were talking about bears and stuff, right? Like the Boston Bruins, right? You thought they were talking about bears, right? You guys know hockey started with Black folks, right? Actually, Indians, right? But then, so supposedly, first Black folks started hockey, right? But who really started hockey? Indians, right? And then we're talking about that Indians are being called Negro, right? So we're talking about these Negro leagues, the hockey leagues. Who are all these so-called Negroes playing hockey? That's my point, right? Sephardic Jew. But the later half of the 16th century, the English were referring to the people of Africa as Ethiopians. Oh, the people of Africa. That's funny because we just read, right? Didn't we just read Verrazano's account of the Southeast Indians? And he said they're not unlike an Ethiopian. They're not unlike an Ethiopian. They are of dark color, not much unlike the Ethiopian when we're talking about the American Indians at the Southeast. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the hijack yesterday. I'm not the one who colorized this or drew it or blackwashed it as people think. I found this online. So what I'm going over is some clips that okay, I'm gonna explain. I want to explain what I'm showing, I want to explain. I was gonna say, guys, am I a Negro? Hold on. So first of all, I want to give a big shout out to, I had to do this, because he's doing a great job with my videos, and he respects the fact that I told him, hey, because he reached out to me. He said, hey, can I post, your videos on my Instagram page? Now he's got a lot of followers because of that. But, he's probably going to even surpass me. It's crazy. I only got 5,000. It's like, it took me, I had another Instagram page. I had 11,000 followers, and Instagram hacked me and blocked me. And I had to start a whole new page and start over. He just started his, and he started posting my videos, and look at all the followers he got. But it's all good. I like that because he's doing it the right way. I told him, hey, listen, I don't mind you sharing my videos, but at least tell people it's me talking. At least tell them where they can find me so they can get more drop and get all the context and watch the full length videos. So he's like, okay, fine, I'll do that, man. And so he's been doing a good job with that. Shout out to History Wills, D Will, all right? I appreciate him doing it the right way and showing the respect and giving the credit and just making people understand, hey, there's history being taught, you know, like there's real people really teaching real history, right? So he started out with these, but let's continue. Hold on.
He said, a slave? I am an Indian. The white man shall not make me black. Don't make me black. Why would they make him black if he didn't look dark skinned? Why would they call him a Negro? Why would they call him a slave? I thought only Africans were the slaves. You guys understand what he's saying here? This is deep. Again, am I a Negro? He said, a slave? I am an Indian. The white man shall not make me black. I will make the white man red with blood, and then blacken him in the sun and rain, where the wolf shall smell his bones, and the vulture live upon his flesh. It's actually a pretty long article, guys, so I'm going to stop right there. What I wanted to point out is what he was asking them. Again, am I a Negro? He said, a slave? No, he's saying, I am an Indian. The white man shall not make me black.
Okay.
Don't let people make you black, guys. It's going to say, guys, am I?
So that was Osceola. Chief Osceola is quoted saying that. Primary sources quoting him. Why would he say that? If he wasn't dark skinned or so-called black, right? This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Which we're going to get into as well. But this one specifically is called The Indians of the Southeastern United States by John R. Swanton. Okay? Classically constituted a seventh. When these people were visited by Bienville in the winter of 1690,
So he's doing a pretty good job. So
corn while they were staying at Ocali.
So this is my book of the Southeastern Indians right here, you know. Hold on, I got it. In all probability, the Comanche Indians at their usual hunting season camped at this particular place. The human skull and skeleton shows that probably he was a Negro Indian type. He was probably a Negro Indian type and indicated that he was shot with a bow and arrow. The arrowhead being the type that Comanches used. The point of the arrowhead entering the body extends into the backbone, and the point of the arrowhead still remains in the backbone of the skeleton. Beads and other ornaments found with the skeleton show the type that a Creek Negro Indian wore in those days. Again, a Negro Creek Indian, the type of clothes and the beads and the ornaments. Alright, more correlation. Now let's go to this journal. It's from an anthropological science magazine journal. This came out in 1939. Volume 38 actually spoke of the same thing. It was like the beginning of the talk, and the next month for volume 39 they continue to talk about it. So it says here, see if I can zoom into it. So again, it's Man, a monthly record of anthropological science, published under the direction of the Royal Anthropological Institute of Great Britain and Ireland. It says here, Negro skeletal remains from Indian sites. In all probability, the So he left that a little bit. That was another article talking about how they found, what they call in Negro Indian skeletons and Indian sites in the West Indies or in the Caribbean. I mean, that article is deep, man. That's from my series from Indigenous American to African American, right? So this is what he was starting to share, right? And of course, like as I told you, thank you to Kurimeo for this lesson. When you get a chance, go show him some love on IG or any platform. His tag is the same, all right? So, okay. You see what I'm saying? That's how you properly should share my videos, not just steal them and create your own channel and only show what you want to show and leave out everything else. Okay? So this is the article. I guess this is a full version of it. Now let's go to this journal. It's from an anthropological science magazine journal. This came out in 1939. Volume 38 actually spoke of the same thing. It was like the beginning of the talk, and the next month for volume 39 they continue to talk about it. So it says here, see if I can zoom into it. So again, it's Man, a monthly record of anthropological science, published under the direction of the Royal Anthropological Institute of Great Britain and Ireland. It says here, Negro skeletal remains from Indian sites in the West Indies. It says the recent paper in this journal by Buxton
Trevor and Julian. They're talking about the previous article I mentioned, right? Volume 47, 1938, implies that an undeformed Negroid physical type inhabited the Virgin Islands in pre-Columbian times.
Okay.
Not only is this implication contrary to previously accepted findings for the Antillean area, as will be shown later, but it also fails to give adequate consideration to the possibility of these skeletal remains representing intrusive Negro burials. The mere presence of skeletons in a sand or shell mound of Indian origin, like in careful stratigraphic records, is not certain evidence of primary association with the accompanying artifacts. Moreover, I venture to say that few physical anthropologists familiar with American Indian skulls would mistake for Indians those illustrated by Buxton, Trevor, and Julian. Indeed, most physical anthropologists would probably be less conservative and say Negro instead of Negroid. Alright, so 100% Negro. He wouldn't even say it's Negro-ish, right? Or Negroid. It's a Negro or copper-colored person. Now let's go.
All right. Literally, the article is telling you they found Negro Indians pre-Columbian. It proved they got it in the bone. The signs again, pre-Columbian. And that doesn't mean they came from Africa. I know a lot of you Pan-Africans, well, they came from Africa first. No, this is the oldest land I just showed you. We got all the food, the agriculture, the oldest agriculture. I got a video on that. The oldest fossilized squash, corn, all that here in the Americas, not anywhere else. Okay.
You'll see those family crests and the websites or internet. Well, this is one of the books that has those crests that contains those images. I have the other books, right, showed in other videos. This is the crest of Great Britain and Ireland, Dominion of Canada, India, and Australasia. Australasia, derived from best authorities and family records. All right, this is an official, the Fairbairns or Fairbairns. Is one of them right here. All right, the Archer.
Now we're talking about Black Europeans, right? That's what I'm saying. He's not being biased. He's doing it the real, like other people on TikTok. They just want to talk about the Black Indian stuff. That's all they want to be, and then they leave me out because they don't really like me. They don't really want to support my channel. They don't want people to go to my channel and get the whole context and the whole history. So they pick and choose certain clips in my videos, push the black Indian stuff only, and don't even mention me. Don't even tag me. Don't even tell people this is Kurimeo. They literally, people that don't know me think it's the person's video, and they get in hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok, you know, and for these little short videos, for the short attention span people. All right.
Now, if you go to the book, you can see what family it is. Number 5, it'll tell you in the book. You can go check it out. All right. These ain't slaves. These are family crests, you know. All right. And so this is an example of one of the pages. Just wanted to show you guys. I zoomed in into some of them. The whole book is filled with this. All right. And this is a close-up of number 7. All right. So what I've been trying to tell everybody is, you know, so what happened to all these dynastic so-called black families and all these dark Welsh and these swarthy Europeans? You know, that they just disappear and go to Africa? Is that what we're gonna believe? Is that what we're logically gonna say? And because when we're talking about indentured servitude and Europeans coming over here, I'm not just talking about light-skinned, pale Europeans. I'm talking about what they were calling the Black Dutch, the Swarthy Germans, the Black Irish, the Black Scots. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands, hundreds and thousands. I'm telling you, we've got the numbers. In case you haven't seen my videos of white servitude, indentured servitude, and I got a lot more coming. And it's just overwhelming the amount of so-called black Europeans that were sent over here to work in plantations.
tobacco, sugar plantations to be, as convict prisoners of war, these Jacobites and all that. I'm going to show you today the muster rolls. You'll see those family crests.
All right. So shout out to Sure Sound Great. Thank you for the donation, sister. Thank you for that. You've been here a long time supporting. We've gone over something Benjamin Franklin said that we need to really pay attention to, right? So the book is called Observations Concerning the Increase of Mankind, Peopling of Countries, by Benjamin Franklin. All right, Benjamin Franklin wrote this. All right, this is from 1755. All right, and we're on page 10 of this book. And this is what Benjamin Franklin says point 24, which he's making observations, right? He's given, which leads me to add one remark. He says that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionally very small. It's very small. You're the minority. All Africa is black or tawny. Asia chiefly tawny. All right, tawny, a darker complexion, right? Not white. America exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. All right, what is that saying? America is what? Black or tawny, wholly so, except the new people, the newcomers, meaning that the aboriginals that were already there is wholly what? Black or tawny. All right, Benjamin Franklin, and in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, Swedes are generally of what we call swarthy complexion. Swarthy. All right, just in case you don't know this book that we've gone over. All right. All of Europe was swarthy. Benjamin Franklin in 1750 telling you in 1750, so-called white folks are the minority or pale skin, not like white like you think as a race or nationality, right? Like light-skinned people of melanated people of color dominated the earth. They probably still dominate the earth, right? Now, what happened in the 1800s with these incubators? My theory is that they just wanted to mass produce paler skin to create the idea, to create the illusion of a white race, so they can start their reconstruction and their reset. And now there's white superiority. Now there's whitewash history, and you fell for it. We all fell for it, right? So he didn't say there wasn't pale skinned people. He just said they were a very small minority. Albinism, leprosy, whatever causes pale skin to happen, it was there before the incubator. So that's when people ask me, where do white people come from? Like, I don't know. All white folks ain't the same. A lot of white folks come out of black folks in general. You guys got to understand that. That's why you might have white cousins now, but who is their ancestors? They might not even know that their ancestors are black Europeans, your same ancestors. Okay, let's continue with History Wills, dropping some videos of mine on my Instagram, right? This is my Instagram, guys. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do. Thought it was a great find. It's called Memoirs of the Secret Service of John Mackay during the reigns of King William, Queen Anne, and King George I, including also the true secret history of the rise, promotions of the English and Scots, nobility, officers, civil, military, naval, and other persons of distinction from the Revolution in their respective characters at large, drawn up by Mr. Mackay, pursuant to the direction of Her Royal Highness and the Princess Sophia. Published from his original manuscript and attested by his son Spring Mackay, Esquire, the second edition. And this is printed in 1733. All right, this is here, which he's describing as, his name is Charles, known as the Duke of Somerset, Master of the Horse, of the ancient family of Seymour, who made so great a figure in the reign of Edward VI. I remember these are the people he's spying on. So these are the Jacobites, all right? So first thing I want to do is show you the hijack, all right? But please dodge the hijack. I'm about to show you why. Please dodge the hijack. This is Charles Seymour VI, Duke of Somerset, all right? Supposedly same person, all right? Now I just want to see the picture they're showing here. All right, do you see that? All right, we see a white guy, right? A little bit of curly hair. A little bit of curly hair. Right? He got some curls in his hair. All right. But we got a white guy, right? Now, we're going to go ahead. All right.
and get to this part of the book where it describes what he looks like. It says he is of middle stature, well-shaped, and very black complexion. Very black complexion. A lover of music and poetry, of good judgment but reason, of great hesitation in his speech, once expression. He is about 42 years old. All right. What is he? Very black complexion. All right. The Duke of Somerset. Yet in Wikipedia, we're finding something else, right? They're showing us a white guy here. So dodge the hijack. This is a later on painting. And look what he's pointing at. Look at the subliminal on this. All right. Let me just try to zoom in so you guys can see this. All right. He's pointing at the so-called Negro. So this is probably Seymour over here. They're showing him. Why is he pointing at him? Do you see the trickery? He's pointing at the so-called Negro man, child or person over here. Who's the real Charles Duke of Somerset? Why is he pointing at him? All right. They're lying because he's, again, very black complexion. I remember this is historic. Thought it was a great find.
All right, so hey, Jess, I hope you are actually tagging me in those videos you grab from my channel, letting them know that's me speaking at least and where they can find me. And Carlos, you got a lot of hijack, Carlos. Hold on. You got a lot of hijack, Carlos. Hold on, I'll address what you're saying. You literally ignored, you just got here probably. You literally ignored, I just read an article telling you they found what they would call today Negroes or Negroid people, bones, the bones, pre-Columbian Virgin Islands, you know, in the Caribbean. And when you say my African ancestors, actually African, where they like, don't, well, what do you mean African Tainos? Like, stop making people that are black into African. You need to catch up on the videos, right? And don't give no more opinions because you're very behind, okay? Don't give no more opinions because you're very confused. You got to make the time to catch up. All right, Carlos? You got to make the time to catch up. All right, we don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that at all. You know, I don't want to hear that. Like, that's hijack. Hijack City, man. Hold on.
Now let's go to this journal.
Hold on.
It's from
an
anthropological science magazine journal. This came out in 1939. Volume 38 actually spoke of the same thing. It was like the beginning of the talk, and the next month for volume 39 they continue to talk about it. So it says here, see if I can zoom into it.
Man, a monthly record of anthropological sciences. I think I have it. Hold on. I'm gonna go to my drive. I still probably got it. Yeah, I hope you guys ain't in a rush. We gotta teach people, man. They come, they like, see, like people, a lot of people are stubborn. Man, oh man. I got the article. I shared this on my Patreon. Okay. Man, oh man. Man, a monthly record of anthropological science, not opinions like Carlos gives, not opinions. Science published under the direction of Royal Anthropological Institute of Great Britain and Ireland, 1939. 1939. All right. Let's see if we can find the article. Oh man. Now we gotta look for the article. Okay, here we go. Play or no, nope, that's not it. Let's just look. Oh man, hold on. We gotta get the page. Hold on, we gotta get the page. 52 to 62. That what it says? 52 April. 52 to 62. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, 52 to 16. Let's see. Past it. Hold on. See, that's why like people are so behind on the research. They just start babbling sometimes and they confuse themselves. Like Like, if you got questions, don't come on my live and ask questions. Go get in the classroom. Get in the classroom and learn first. Learn. Take the time. If you don't want to do that, then you don't really care. You're just being subliminal. You just come here with your hurt feelings. All right. You need to learn the truth for sure, Carlos. You need to learn the truth for sure. All right. Man, I don't feel like going over this. Let's just go over the video again, man. It sucks that I have to do this, man. It sucks that I have to do this again. Anyways, the article, I'm going to read it. The recent paper in the Journal of Buxton, Trevor, and Julian implies that an undeformed Negroid physical type inhabited the Virgin Islands in pre-Columbian times, okay? And that doesn't mean they're from Africa, period. That's it. I ain't going to show it again. Hold on. All right, catch up, okay? Don't be saying African. I don't want to hear African anywhere. Like, you can't prove that. You can't prove these were Africans, okay? So stop making up things and guessing and just blurring out the lies they told you, indoctrinated into you. Stop repeating it like a broken record. All right, now we're going over Black Europeans. Catch up. You can send me documents, oh man, like Telegram, my email, many different places. On my Patreon, I showed you there's a community here. Look, people are posting stuff. Come onto the Patreon. You can post things here. You can share stuff with me. You can find me on Telegram. You can send me an email. Many different ways. Look, this is my Patreon. Look, people chat. We all chat. People post and share stuff, right? Look, people post and share stuff with me. Look, people, currency conservative. Look, he's posting stuff, sharing it. That's different places you guys can reach out to me, okay? Try to reach out to me, though, when I'm not live, though. Like, try to reach out. You guys always on a live try to, like, oh, what can I do? I want to link up with you. I want to do this. But you guys never do it. You never do it. A lot of you are really all talk. I'm sorry to say. A lot of you is just really all talk, man. You want to reach out to me, you reach out to me. I met up with this really incredible young lady. She's 20 years old. 20 years old. Her dad is one of my longtime followers, and he started teaching her this, and she literally got into it. And she wanted to talk to me and ask me some questions. And I gave her like 2 or 3 hours, 2 hours or something. And on Saturday, I talked to her on Zoom. We just talked, we chilled, we vibed. It's that easy, guys. You guys don't reach out. You say, oh, I want to reach out to you, but you never do. You never do. All right. Yeah, screen capture. See, that's what I'm saying. Where you screen capture? Yeah, I got the whole book. You can support. I'm sure you got a Netflix subscription. I'm sure you got an HBO. So I'm sure you go to the gym. I'm sure, you spend money on a lot of insignificant things, right? I'm making it easier. I post all that stuff on my Patreon, because people donate to me, and I want to say thanks. Okay, so again, we're continuing with what we were doing. Hopefully nobody else comes in all late and starts babbling about Africans and just thinking out loud. Catch up on the videos so you can learn. If you really want to learn, catch up on the videos. Okay.
Next person we're gonna talk about, and he's gonna describe is Sydney, Lord Godolphin, Lord High Treasurer, a treasurer of England. Before we go to him, what do we say in Wikipedia? Sydney Godolphin, first Earl of Godolphin, Secretary of State, Northern Department, First Lord of the Treasury. We're talking about the same person here, but check out the image. Look at the image. They're showing us a white guy. All right, before we read the description, with this person right here, would you think he's in any way dark skin or of a dark complexion or black or, swarthy, tan, even a little bit brown? Do you see any of that here? All right, so it talks about him. It says he has an admirable, clear understanding of slow speech with an awful serious deportment, thus more than he promises, an enemy to flattery, show and violence of very hard access, but that being equally deemed to all degrees of people, makes it supportable, of a low stature, thin, with a very black and stern countenance, near 60 years old. All right, he's very what? very black, very black. Does this guy look like he's very black? Does this guy look like he's very black to you? Huh? Very black? Dodge the next person.
So I'm reading a book from the 1700s in here, right? The Memoirs of the Secret Services of John McKee during the reign of King William and Queen Anne. That's what it's called. Primary source describing the Jacobites. Yeah, the Jacobites, a lot of your ancestors.
Daniel, Earl of Nottingham, Secretary of State. All right, Daniel. And his name was Finch, last name. Just want to show you again. Daniel Finch, second Earl of Nottingham. He was an English Tory. A Tory, remember what a Tory was? They were Jacobites, supporters of the Jacobite. This is the picture they got of him in Wikipedia. Let's back up again. That's a white man, right? Now let's see what he really looked like, what he was described as. All right. It says that he has also the exterior air of business and application enough to make him very capable, and his habit and manners very formal. A tall, thin, very black man. He's a very black man, like a Spaniard or a Jew. About 50 years old, like a Spaniard Moor, or like a Jew, like a Moor. And they say this is him right here in Wikipedia. Do you see the hijack? Dodge the hijack. They're lying to you. They've been lying to us our whole lives. Break the spell. Don't let them lie anymore. How can they teach this in school still? He was a very black man. A very black expression, right? All right, the next person here.
So it even says like a Spaniard or a Jew. They mean a Sephardic Jew. They mean like the Spanish at that time. We're talking about people of color. So-called black folks. He's comparing them to black folks. They're not talking about white. A lot of people say, no, black means white, Kurimeo. That's from the 1828 definition, and you're not reading all the definitions. You're just picking because you don't want a lot of Pan-African folks or black folks don't say we don't want these people. They want somebody to blame. They want the evil white man to always blame. They want people to remain whitewashed so they can blame people because they don't want to believe there was black Europeans. So they come out with all this babbling. Oh, no, that doesn't mean black. It doesn't mean black. And they even have people here described as brown. So what does brown mean then, if it doesn't mean brown? Same people are whitewashed that they're calling brown in this book. You wouldn't mistake any of these people for brown or black if you look at the whitewash images. But the description says something else. Images can be manipulated, guys.
Next person we're going to look at is Charles, Duke of St. Albans, all right, who is also the son of King Charles II by Miss Gwynn. So we're going to take a look at him against Wikipedia. You know, they just put in what is actually mainstream. This is actually what they put in textbooks, college textbooks, school textbooks. This is Charles Beauclerc, first Duke of St. Albans, was an illegitimate son of King Charles II of England. We're talking about the same person here. This is the picture they got for him in Wikipedia. Do you see this? Now remember, his brother was black complexion and his dad is black complexion.
So this is before I had done the Charles II video and shown the primary sources, many references of Charles II. Actually, shout out to Chase, because Chase, you know, he shared an image, which I have seen a lot on the internet, all right, of Charles II. Let me just show you guys. All right, let me just show you guys, okay? You guys see this? They have this somewhere. I forget where they have this. I forget where they have this stuff, but Charles II, it was historically known to be so-called black. He was called the black boy. His mom called him the black boy. This is his son, supposedly, right? All the black boy inns or taverns in England are named after Charles II. Black Boy Inn, Black Boy Tavern. Okay, so this is supposed to be his son. Again, he got whitewashed, but watch the description.
Why is he so white? Oh, was Miss Gwynn a white? Now it says Charles Duke of St. Albans. He is a gentleman very way de bon naturel, well bred, does not love business. He is well affected to the constitution of his country. He is of black complexion. not so tall as the Duke of Northumberland, yet very like King Charles. Turned 30 years old, all right? Black complexion. Black complexion. Is this black complexion? This is pink. What is this? White. This is pale. Look like he's dying. He needs some sun. What do you mean black complexion?
It's the Beavis and Butthead drawings. It's literally a drawing. But when you see these European paintings of black folks, of royals, you see the details. You see these are real paintings. This is a drawing, guys. This is literally a drawing. It's a fake drawing. It's like a Beavis and Butthead drawing.
So now, black complexion. All right. Institute Bureau of American Ethnology, Bulletin 143. Says here, Handbook of South American Indians. Julian H. Stewart, editor, volume 6, Physical Anthropology, Linguistics, and Cultural Geography of South American Indians.
All right. This one's a really good one. So that's from a really good video showing, yeah, he's gonna show the dark skin, but in this book, it tells you how diverse ancient America was, how diverse it was. All right. Now, this is what I want to point out about History Wheels. Look how he started putting my name right on the image. He started putting at Kurimeo, and then later on he'll start saying this was narrated by Kurimeo. That if you want to share my stuff, do it like that. Do it like that, you know. Don't, because literally, if you have a whole channel just off my clips and you're not even giving credit or telling people who's speaking, I think that you might be doing it maliciously, you know, and you're just trying to make yourself famous, get views, get clout, make money. And then you're only sharing a certain type of clip and you're leaving out all the Black Europeans in you. So let's see what this book is saying real quick.
It says here, the Colorado, also Chibchan, have a reddish skin color. This is to some extent accentuated by their custom of painting their faces and bodies a bright red with a color obtained by grinding the seeds of the achiote plant. Hagen, 1939, states that these Indians have generally a lighter skin color than other tribes of the upper Amazon region. The tribes living in the present country of Peru are dark brown. Again, the tribes living in the present country of Peru are dark brown, according to Eberhardt's 1910 observations. The Ayamara, living in the Andean highlands of Peru have been studied by Macmillan 1927, who speaks of them as having a swarthy brown to coppery skin or even a dark olive color. Again, swarthy brown to coppery, swarthy black, dark, swarthy brown to coppery skin or even a dark olive color. Again, the Peruvians, the Ayamara, Inca, swarthy brown to coppery skin or even a dark olive color, some being lighter with a yellowish hue, Institute Bureau of American Ethnology.
Okay. All right. This is what they did. Oh, and I didn't write any of these books. Dr. Longo, Old World Florida, says, oh, Kurimeo, he gets a little carried away. He makes everybody black. Yeah, right, little punk. Yeah. Where's the audio? Okay, here we go.
We're in this book, The Indian Journals, 1859-62, by Lewis Henry Morgan and Leslie A. White. All right, and it says, the Osage, the Osages, the Kas, and Quapas speak the same language with slight dialectical differences. The Osages and the Kas are both very dark-skinned. Again, the Osages and the Kas are both very dark-skinned. All right? Very dark-skinned. Very dark skin.
All right. We're not talking about a tan. Oh, Kurimeo, they don't mean Negro though. They just very dark skinned. They don't mean. So what's a Negro then to you? Oh, you think Negroes only have one look, or you know, see, this is what a lot of people is just like. They're always, the cognitive dissonance starts kicking in, like, and they just start babbling and babbling. I got the images of these people from the 1800s. They're very, very dark. Darker than a lot of so-called black folks in the States today. A lot of black folks a lot lighter than them, you know? So let's continue with the short posts. All right, we're getting little short marathon posts here. Shout out to History Wills on Instagram. And Kurimeo.
The British Crown, with a glance at their customs, characteristics, and history by William Clint, read before the Society, 23rd of March, 1878. All right, I'm going to go to this part of the book, and it says, the face was broad and flat, with high cheekbones, more rounded and arched than in the Allied type, without having the visage expanded to the same breadth. The forehead was generally low and narrow, the eyes deep, small, and of a dark or light hazel color, the nose rather diminutive but prominent, with wide nostrils, prominent nose, wide nostrils, the mouth large and lips thick, large mouth and thick lips, the expression stern and fierce, the stature through variable and different parts of the continent was in the country we now inhabit generally above the middle size in the men, though the women were usually below that standard, a fact which may probably be ascribed to the drudgery they were obliged to undergo. The color of the skin was red or copper-colored, a red or copper-colored, not red, right? Red man, they really mean copper-colored, all right? The British Crown.
All right, guys, so the clips are a lot louder than the live mic. I'm live right now talking, but the clips are a lot louder because they're from my old videos. In my old videos, the volume was extra high. Like I had to eventually learn to put it down a little bit. You should be able to hear me. My mic should be working. Like I shouldn't sound low. Let me make sure. I did the audio test. Yeah, everything's working. My audio is good. You guys should be able to hear me. I haven't done anything. He said probably because you're in Costa Rica. No, it's not because of that. No, guys. My mic volume and the clips are two different levels. The clips are way high, guys. So this is what happens. You put on the clip and then you put the volume down because the clips are loud. And then when I start talking, I sound low. But no, you gotta like understand that my mic is normal. The clips are very loud. The clips are very loud. So I don't know. You gotta balance the audio on your end. You know. Okay. Sorry about that. You know. Trust me. My mic is on all the way up. Okay.
During the years 1838, 1839, 1840, 1841, 1842, under the command of Charles Wilkes, USN, Ethnography and Philology. Again, Ethnography and Philology by Horatio Hale. I'm going to go to this part of the book. It says, the Californian Division. The natives of this class are chiefly distinguished by their dark color. Again, we're talking about California, right? Right, again, the natives of this class are chiefly distinguished by their dark color. Those of northern or upper California are a shade browner than the Oregon Indians, while some tribes in the peninsula are said to be nearly black. Again, some tribes near the peninsula, we're talking about American Indians, are said to be nearly black, so-called black. In other respects, they have the physiognomy of their race, broad faces, a low forehead, and lank coarse hair. They are the lowest in the intellect of all the North American tribes, approaching to the stupidity of the Australians. All right, so they're being racist, right here with their comments. They're dull and indolent, phlegmatic, timid, and of a gentle, submissive temper. The experiment, which was successfully tried, of collecting them like a herd of cattle into a large enclosures called missions, and there setting them to work, would probably never have been undertaken with the Indians of Oregon, and if undertaken, would assure during the years 1838.
So that was a deep source right there. That was a deep source right there. You guys heard that, right? Like, I mean, I didn't even remember this. We read this, but by the way, that reminds me, I got two books coming. Well, my wife helped me finish one, Abraham Lincoln book that I got coming out. I just got to proofread it. I might do that with the members only. I might You guys might help me proofread it. I'm still thinking about it. But we're gonna definitely print physical copies and distribute that all over the world, and just undeniable proof Lincoln was black. I got all the sources in one book, all the stuff, the Phelps brother videos, all that in one book. I hope you guys support me and buy the book. Like really, like I hope, like a lot of you, I've been waiting for you to draw. I hope that's true. Because again, a lot of you are just talk. Well, we'll see. I got so this another book I got coming is all the references, like all these sources in one book of when they describing what the Indians look like. Okay. All right. So regarding Trump, guys, like you guys gotta understand, Trump is just a distraction. Yeah, he said he wants to put it back, the name of the Redskins back, but why did they change it in the first place? So he can be the hero, right? So he can come and be the savior and distract you from the shit that's going on in the Middle East. Because now everybody forgot about that again. Because now we don't mention the Chase our videos. Nobody's talking about it. Unless you're like into that stuff and your algorithms are showing you, they're still killing babies over there. They're still dropping bombs on little kids and women over there. And then he got his Einstein connection, right? The Epstein files, which is true, but he don't care. Nothing gonna happen to him. Like that's all distractions, guys. Oh, now let's revert. It's all race, ice. It's all about race separation and race getting people mad in a racial way. Don't fall into that stuff. And money jocks. I want to tell you something. A lot of you guys don't understand. When Trump was saying they don't look like Indians to me, he was talking about the Foxwoods Casino, Mohegan Sun people. Those are melanated people. Those were melanated. Those are black folks. He's literally saying they don't look like Indians to me. You guys are taking it the wrong way. You guys are not understanding what he's saying because you don't know who he's talking about. You got to go see who he's talking about. They look just like you. These are people who will be classified as African Americans. I'm trying to explain to you something deep here. Like you guys think Trump is a savior and he's always telling the truth, and you don't understand what he's saying. He's actually dissing you. He said they don't look like Indians to me. You think he was trying to say they look like what you think a Mongol or a Native American. No, he wasn't talking about those. You got to understand who he was talking about. If you look at the Shinnecock people, the Narragansett people, you're gonna see. No, he wasn't talking about. He wasn't talking. Hey, Salih, you're not listening, man. And first of all, see, this is how you guys are so like you're so lost a lot of the times. When you're talking about $5 Indians, that's the five civilized tribes, guys. No other nation. That happened with the five civilized tribes. Trump in that case was talking about Northeast Indians. They're talking the casinos in the Northeast. No, he wasn't talking about so-called Native Americans. He was talking about brown-skinned people. That's what he was saying. They don't look like Indians to me. You guys see, this is what I'm saying. You guys be missing a lot of context. And then you guys start talking with your prejudice stuff starts coming out. Like, I know you guys have a hard time letting go of your assumptions, man. Your previous stereotypes. Stop with that $5 Indian stuff because black Europeans also paid $5, guys. Black Europeans also, not just white Europeans, black Europeans did too. As it wasn't about color. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings and stuff. And however you want to take this, however you want to take this. Man, like catch up on the videos, guys. Like really, like, and empty your cup and get out of the prejudice views. If you don't know somebody's genealogy, stop judging. And stop trying to make everybody this just because it's so-called. But you think there wasn't black Europeans paying $5, don't you? You think black Europeans weren't doing that, don't you? And if I'm telling you they were, then a lot of the so-called black Indians have a lot of black European in them too. You guys, it's not about making sense. You got to really listen to who he's talking about and then go find out what those people look like. Go find out what that money you good is. I'm telling the A's because he's talking about $5 Indians. Like, come on, like that kind of literally, because you're first of all, yeah, I know you know about the black Europeans, but you're not calling them $5 Indians, are you? Be honest, Ace. When you say $5 Indian, you're picturing a certain type of person. All of you are. You don't picture black Europeans doing that, right? What is the point of doing all these presentations, right? Like, just so you can come and boost your ego over here, and I'm the real Indian. Those are $5 Indians. That's not why I'm doing this, guys. That's not why I'm doing this. Yeah, but you're nobody's talking about Siberian immigrants. You said he was talking about the $5 Indians, Ace. And he wasn't. I'm trying to tell you, he was talking about brown complexion people. You got to understand what tribes he was specifically talking about in that court. And go see what they look like. They look like your people. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, Mula. Yo, Mula, listen, you were arguing me about the Rasta thing the other day. And now you're coming over here to argue me about something else. You think I forget stuff. You think I forget what people say and do on my channel. Listen, you're just argumentative. No, you want him. That's what you want him to be talking about. That's what you want to picture. He's very specific who he was talking about. He was talking about specific people who own casinos in the Northeast, the tribes that north in New England, Connecticut, Massachusetts. And you got to go see what they look like. He wasn't talking about Mountain West. He was talking about New England Indians. Go debunk me. That way you learn something. Go try to debunk me so you can actually learn something, have context before you say things, guys. See, that's in other channels you can go do that. Oh, $5 Indians, and yeah, because they think like you. The other YouTubers think like you. No, we're not on the same page, Ace. You still talking about Siberian Indians. Like, don't, that's what I'm saying. Like, what Siberian Indians you talking about? We're talking about what Trump was saying. He wasn't talking about those so-called Siberian Indians. I'm being specific. Sometimes you guys gotta catch yourself and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just be quiet, man, because I'm a little confused. That's what I'm saying. The $5 Indians, 5 civilized tribes. Trump wasn't talking about them in that speech. He was talking about the owners of the casinos in New England, mostly Connecticut. And then go look at their chiefs and all the people he's talking about. You're gonna find black folks, brown-skinned people. You read me wrong then, and I don't read you now. I don't read you loud and clear, man. And I don't know. I hope it's not you sending me those emails about the Rasta thing. I got somebody sending me emails about they're so salty about the Rasta thing that I said the other day. They're still trying to convince me Mayas were Rastas and all this. Like, it's silly. I feel like blocking them. Like leave me alone with that. You know, like you guys, like we're live, so I get to. It's my channel. I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna try to help you. You keep reading my comments wrong. It's so what a coincidence that I'm reading your comments wrong every time, right? And no, I'm not reading anybody else. You guys are very clear the first time you say things. You're just not real enough to admit when you're saying things that are wrong and you're generalizing. That's what it is. And I keep it real with you. And if I was your boy, I'll tell you straight up. Nah, man, you're wrong, man. Let me show you who he's talking about, and I'll show you the images of the people. You'll be like, damn, I didn't know that's who he was talking about. Yeah, that's who he's talking about. He was talking about black folks. He said, they don't look like Indians to me. I know a lot of other YouTubers are telling you the other way around because they don't even know who they talking about. They don't look it up. They just sounds like, because you assume, you picture like, hey, Siberian Indians. That's what you picture. Ace, thank you, man. See, it's not about trying to make you feel wrong. You could have just, you don't even have to say that in the chat. Just say that to yourself. and just listen and go verify what I'm saying. That way you have the experience and you understand why I'm being like this right now. Trump ain't your hero, guys. Hey, Alonso, thank you, man. Dunn, Irish last name. Dunn means black. Dunn means brown complexion. Thank you for the donation. Thanks for your content, guys. Trump was talking about the Lumbee who look like black Americans. There you go. Trump thinks that all Indians look like what Hollywood shows. Exactly, Alonso. This is what I'm trying to say. But we got other YouTubers in our community, black channels, black Indian channels, right? Oh, Trump is talking about the Mongols, talking about those Siberian Indians. They got you fooled. They got you misinformed. And you ran with it, right? You didn't even verify to see who he was really talking about, what the people really look like. I knew because I know who they're talking about before he even said it. I knew, what are you talking about? They don't look like Indians to me. And I've been trying to tell you this about him, about that comment he made, that statement he made. But I guess it went from one ear to the other, because you still want to label them Siberians, you want to label them $5 Indians. And like I said, black Europeans did the same thing. They paid $5 too, because it wasn't about color, guys. You be heated at the others, it's all good. But man, it's not about heated, man. It's not about heated, man. It's like when your dad or mom is disappointed in the son and like, hey, listen, I told you, you know. I'm just trying to help you, man. I'm just trying to inform you, man. Because I got love. I got real love. I got real passion for this. I ain't here trying to be prejudiced or racist towards anybody, like the other channels you guys follow. Give him the source. I don't want to go look for it. I don't want to look. Just go listen to what he's saying and who they talking about in that court case. And then go look at the people that he's talking about. And you'll see what I'm talking about. We're going to continue.
When I stay, yeah, I'm a child of God. I do not belong to the United States.
All right, I can't play that song. I'm gonna get a copyright, but you know, he just posted this with the images, right? Right? See, he's cool. History Wills is cool but a lot of people saying, Kurimeo, why are you showing Mongols even though they're black? Why are you showing black Mongols? Oh, there's the images y'all want to see, right? Only, right? These are from Mexico, Indians from Mexico. Right here. I got them colorized. Yeah, Kurimeo's message can easily be turned into divisiveness by ignorance. He is very cautious of that and will be straight up about it. That's what I'm trying to say. I got to keep it real. Trying to keep it real with everybody, and I hope I got real followers, like real people following me. Not biased, stereotyped, racist, prejudiced people. You guys, if you are, got to get out of that. Be better people. Be better humans. Be better humans. All right. All right. I know this is, you know, we show images like this, and so you start having this complex, superiority complex. Don't be like the so-called white man. Don't be like the evil so-called pale-skinned people that started the whole white superiority. Don't do that in the opposite way. Be better than them. Can I enlarge the images? All this stuff is in my videos and my Instagram. All this stuff is on my Instagram. Go to my Instagram. Go to the videos. Right now, what we're doing, guys, if you came in late, we're going over some shorts I got posted on my Instagram, okay? Different topics, okay? So you just want to see images or you want me to read information? It's not just about images. Damn, Kurimeo going at them. It's all good.
Says that Virginia passed 2 acts in 1682 that combined Native Americans and Africans into one category, Negroes and other slaves. All right, the written record of the voyage of 1524 of Giovanni de Verrazzano, as recorded in a letter of Francis I, King of France, July 8, 1524. All right, please note the description of the natives. They are dark in color, not unlike Ethiopians. All right, we have the actual book, Verrazzano's book, to verify that from that time. So in the 1500s, they were calling you dark in color. They were calling you you're not very much different than an Ethiopian in complexion. An Ethiopian just meant a dark-skinned person. Ethiop means burnt face. It was in reference to dark complexion at first. It wasn't a country like it is today. All right. So again, they were classifying you together, Negroes and other slaves. Native Americans, so-called Africans, right? There was other Negroes that were being brought from other parts of America. They weren't African. We broke that down. All right. So a lot of important history in Virginia and what has happened there to the Aboriginals. All right. So just wanted to go ahead and get fact here.
All right. So again, I'm showing shorts right now. They're Instagram shorts, okay? In my Instagram page. We're talking about different things. All right. Let me see. Keep your foot on the a lot of people say I'm not racist, but you're talking about Siberian Indians and then you're talking about $5 Indians. I won't say racist, then I'll say prejudice. You ever hear me talk like that? And how do you know they're from Siberia? You're talking about somebody from the Southeast, you're calling them Siberian. Just because they don't look the way you want them to look. Now, I know evil things have happened. I know there's been ethnic cleansing. People been relocated. People pay $5. But it wasn't just, it's just not the way you picture it. You got to have context, guys. And you got to stop generalizing.
A what? A company for profit making, an enterprise, a joint stock company. And we already know from the past videos who was involved in this joint stock company. And let's include King James, or the Duke of York in this, as he was known also, the Duke of York, King James. All right. The colony's founders were restless men, hungry for land, hungry for your land, so-called Negroes, American Indians. They wanted your land, hungry for land and economic gain. The Powhatan Indians of the Virginia coast brought corn and tobacco to the colonists in the hope of establishing friendly relations. Their gifts were accepted, and for a time Indians and whites lived together in peace. But because of the white man's greed, this peace did not last. Tobacco, which the Indians used for ceremonial purposes, was seen as a source of profit by the colonists. Again, who was using tobacco for ceremonial purposes? The Powhatan Indians. And what did the colonists say? Yo, we can make money off of that. All right. As their rapidly expanding tobacco plantations used up the soil, the colonists took over the Indians' fields, pushing the natives aside to enlarge their country estates. The English seized ever larger tracts of Indian land. All right. A what?
Yeah. So we're talking about in this video, the Powhatan Indians had tobacco plantations before when the European arrived. They were growing tobacco. They had large tobacco plantations. Remember, Indians love to smoke. So it was maybe a business, not business how we think business today, but for trade, right? For trade. And remember, we're talking about Virginia tobacco. That was world famous at this time. Yeah. Just want to address Michael. I think, you're 100% right, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you about the Massachusetts, Connecticut, New England Indians in general are brown-skinned people. That's who he was talking about. And then he said, Michael says in scripture, Israel was a mixed multitude. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Even in biblical terms, like people want to just make, oh, I'm black, so I'm Judah. I'm black, black, black. Oh, Kurimeo, you're not one of us because you ain't black. Or blah, 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 blah. You guys got to remember that, yeah, the Israelites and Hebrews in general, melanated people of melanated color, but also the heathen nations, the Moabites, the Hamites, the Canaanites, whatever other nation in ancient times, they were also so-called black. So you can't just go off your complexion to try to say, oh, I'm an Israelite just because I'm black. You probably mixed. And it's true what Michael's saying, a mixed multitude. Abyssinian means mixed multitude. And yeah, they had other people with them mixing in, yes. Oh, but it's the seed that drops the glue, blah, blah. And people start blabbing, blabbing, blabbing because they just want to be right. Is why they want to make it about color. They want to make everything about color. Everything about color. Let's continue.
You should tell Uncle Sam he can catch a fade.
See, I can't. So check it out. Beautiful Narragansett and Wampanoag people of the Algonquin, you know? So this is who Trump would say, oh, they don't look like Indians to me. And you're taking it completely the opposite way. Completely the opposite way. These are the people who own a lot of the casinos now and stuff. They're descendants. This is especially in New England. Yeah, a lot of them have a lot of mix, and they see some, they see the pale people in there, they got in the mix. But you'll see the brown skinned people too. All right. Yeah. Hey, you see? We have a video on him, Chief what was his name, from the Hassamanisco tribe in Massachusetts? Natick. Yeah.
American Dictionary of the English Language. All right. This is actually Webster's 1828 dictionary. All right, I got the official PDF. We're going to go all the way to the word Swarty. All right, and right here it says Swart, right? Almost sounds like steward. Swart, steward, swart, steward. Where would they get steward? Did it mean black or dark? What is swart? It says being of dark hue, moderately black, tawny, swarth. All right. Down here it says swart, to make tawny or brown. Swart, an apparition. Swartly. All right, duskly with a tawny hue.
I think we are pretty much, very informed of what Swarty means, right? So he posted that so people can know. I posted that on my Instagram. Okay. Go on to the next
Modern
one.
Britons, a retrospect. Very good book. A lot of good sources that he has. Very scholarly. A lot of good research of the people of Britain and Europe, recognizing the racial characteristics in the small swarthy Welshman and the small dark Highlander and the black Celts to the west of Shannon. All right. This is all the authors he quoted that have said this, and found all these different skulls and accustomed to bury them tombs. Their remains have been found in Belgium and France and Britain, Germany and Denmark, as well as in Spain. All right, these people. A little further down on the same book, it says here, Seuss ingeniously conjectures that the first syllables are equivalent to the German Schwarz, Schwarz is black, and that the whole word is a translation of the Slavic Shorshny Ugri, black Ugri, by which the Hungarians are known in later Russian writers. The Hungarians were black Ugri, all right, Hungarians. White and black, as is well known, means with Eastern writers little more than dominant and dependent. Thus the black Khazars, black Khazars or Hungarians were the subjects of the white Khazars. You see, there was a black Khazar, original people, these original Russian Hungarians, these original Rus. Look, black Kara means black, all right. Kara means black. It says this word is an example of the Ugrian element in Celtic speech. In Gaelic, it is Kiar or Thiar, which is spelled Car or Ked. And modern Scottish surnames, all which are simply Kiar. The final A of the slower speaking Mongoloids have dropped off, but the word is the same. It now means swarty or dark brown. Swarty or dark brown. Again, swarty means dark brown rather than black. There ain't nobody black. It means dark brown. Dark brown, ain't no black person has a crayon color. It means dark brown, which signification attaches more distinctly to the word Dublin, all right, Dublin, dub, all right, means what? Dark brown, dub, all right, dub. Ancient and modern Britons, a retro.
Hey, Alonso, thank you for that. It says, Kurimeo, did you see where the Supreme Court that the Creek must admit the freedmen descendants? I think I saw that. Yeah. And that whole thing about freedmen, and they try to make them African slaves. So, why are they admitting that now? Because people are doing their genealogy and holding them accountable. That's why. Now people's doing their genealogy and contacting these places like, look, this is my ancestor. He wasn't a slave. he was chief, he was an Indian, he was this and that, you know. So that's why they got to do that. So yeah, thank you for the donation, brother, man. Lem Hendricks, great work, sir. Your source and thank you, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Check it out.
Dancing with the Native American today.
So these are some of the people, what they look like. This is what I'm saying that Trump is talking about. They don't look like Indians to me. He was saying it in a negative way, guys. You didn't know that, did you?
It's called intertribal dancing. This type of powwow is called an intertribal powwow, where Native Americans from all different parts of Indian country and all the provinces of Canada and the States, United States, come together and they share and join in song and dance. It's a melting pot, as you want to say it, of culture. We have the Eastern blanket dance that originated here on the East Coast. We have the jingle dress dance, a hailing dance that originated in Ontario provinces of Canada amongst the Ojibwe, Anishinaabe, Ojibwa people, the same people. We have the fancy dance that originated out of the plains area, northern and southern plains. So all these styles of dance are danced and they're also adopted by tribes from all different regions. So this allows us to go anywhere in Indian country and dance any style of dance. That's why we call it the melting pot.
So this is an example of who Trump was talking about. That's what they look like, his complexion. Like, oh, they don't look like Indians to me. And Shred Sam, man, we're not talking about $5 Indians, man. Did you just join us? I'm not going over that again, man.
Of Indian country, intertribal dancing.
I think
tonight we are having our junior Mishinikock pageant. So we have these 6 girls that are all excited. They have been practicing and going through different lessons for a few months now.
Hello, my name is Nishay Polite, and I'm proud to be running a Mishinikock Junior Teen Pageant. Thank you.
It's not a beauty pageant. They're being judged basically mostly on their knowledge and history of Shinnecock and just what we're looking for to represent who we are.
I believe that a Shinnecock woman is someone who's respectful, grateful, and sets a good example. She takes pride in her culture and makes the effort to pass down her culture's history because it is important to preserve in her Shinnecock history.
The girls have been...
All right, you guys see, this is who Trump is saying. They don't look like Indians to me. All these Eastern Woodland or Northeast people, the Shinnecock, and this is who he was talking about. So if you guys don't know what a $5 Indian is, like, you got to do the history, you got to really research and you got to know the whole context. Because even when you're reading these articles, they're leaving out a lot of context. They make you think that all Europeans were white and that all Indians looked a certain way and that all black folks were African when you're reading about this stuff. So you're getting all these wrong concepts. Okay, yeah, beautiful. Look at how beautiful these people are. They know their heritage. And it's so disrespectful for people to come say, oh, look at these pretend Indians. When these people are in the tribe, they got their genealogy. You get what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't mean they calling the other people that look like me. That's their family. That's their family. They don't disrespect them or say, oh, you a $5 Indian, you a Mongol, you a Native American, you a foreigner, you taking our land. They're not doing that. They ain't doing that. That's their family. That's their cousins. That's their, like the guy said earlier, it's a melting pot. All right. These people have nothing to do with $5 Indians because that's only the 5 civilized tribes, guys. This is in the Northeast. Understand what the Shinnecock, the Narragansett, the Algonquin peoples are in general. Okay?
Working really hard for the past several months, learning about their culture, their traditions, their selves, and just really growing and developing. And today they're going to share with you a little bit of their language, a little bit of their traditional dancing, their own personal talents, and we're really excited for it. The clothing that they'll be wearing, they're going to be wearing several different styles. When they first enter into the arena, they're going to be doing...
I didn't realize that they said my name, so I was just like,
Culture is prevention. Culture is the basis of helping to prevent youth from engaging in risky behaviors and helping them to make positive choices in life.
Ladies and young gentlemen, you did.
And how they celebrate what kinds of things they do. Wow.
Meeting family is my favorite part. Everybody just see other family and that you haven't seen in a long time.
So as all our friends and family come here, it's also a homecoming for us as well. So the 3 days are incredible, and the dance competition is so important, as the many dancers with their regalia that they've taken so much time to put together their beautiful regalias, to dance the various dance styles that they dance, and to perfect that dance.
All right, so this is not that old, guys. They still do this. They still do this in the powwows every year, okay? This is not old. Chiefly QB, you know, I know you were, you know, you're in general, you were being positive. You like my videos, but you got to also, you're saying the West Coast Indians, you know, you're talking about millions of people, right? Chiefly, you know, you're judging millions of people, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. They're not all like that. I can say the same about black folks. They talk like that about me. The wabbos you're talking about, there's actual real wabbos that don't know their genealogy, that talk bad about people that look like me, that say I'm a Mongol, that say I'm a foreigner, just because I don't look so-called black to them. So is it right for me to say, oh, all the East Coast Indians are the ones calling me a Mongol? I would be generalizing. I think you guys don't understand. Sometimes you got to catch yourself. Stop generalizing. Stop generalizing, because all West Coast Indians don't look like how you picture them. A lot of them look like the ones I'm showing you right here. Many of them. Or their ancestors did. So you guys got to stop that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sorry to pick on you now, but, you know, I'm basing it off your comments. Okay, I get you, man, but that's what I'm saying. So why did you say that? So like, let's say you didn't have family there, and you get somebody else is actually reading what you're saying. They would be including your family in that, calling them, you know, West Coast Indians. You just literally generalized. You did, though. You get what I'm saying? What you hear, hey, you're basing it off the bad apples. Again, not everybody in Arizona is like that either. I know I got so many followers from Arizona. There is a lot of confusion with this. It's not just confusion. It's not just about confusion, Carl. It's about people's prejudices and racism. That's kind of embedded in them. And then the bad apples, they're kind of mad at the bad apples, and they start generalizing. They start generalizing and saying, oh, this and that, and all of them did this, and all of them talk bad, and all. No, they don't all do that. And you got to also remember, they're not educated. Most people in the world are not educated. They don't have the real concept of ethnicity, anthropology, real history. They only know what they are told and what they believe. So yeah, there is bad apples. There's bad apples amongst the black community. There's Pan-Africans. Don't worry, don't forget, there's Pan-Africans, guys, that are just as lost as the bad apples in the Native American community. Just as bad, just as disrespectful. It's not about color, guys. Hey, Science, man, appreciate you, brother, man. If they can have multiple races over there, then why not here? This is the land of the original man. Kill your conjectures and biases and learn. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Let them know, Science. Let them know, Science.
Some facts, all right? So we're in the book called Researches, Philosophical and Antiquarian Concerning the Aboriginal History of America by J.H. McCullough, Jr., M.D. This is from 1829, all right? It's the book. We're going to go to page 25. And we're on page 25 again. We were talking about this region, the appearance of the Indians being of that of Negro, and we had the color of the Indians of the California mission, seen by Le Perros, very nearly approaches that of the Negroes, all right, whose hair is not woolly, and in another place, the color of these Indians, which is that of Negroes. Langsdorff, who visited San Francisco on the coast of California, confirms the observations of Le Peyros, for he says, voyage 440, the Indians there are of a very dark complexion. The Indians in Cali, West Coast are what? Very dark complexion, very dark complexion, approaching to what? Black, so-called black. All right. They have large projecting lips and broad, flat Negro-like noses. Indeed, many of their features, as well as their physiognomy and almost their color, bear a strong resemblance to the Negroes.
Check out this screenshot of my...
We cannot admit for a moment that these American blacks, yo, so-called black power, American blacks, these so-called American blacks were ever driven by stress of weather across the Pacific Ocean to California, unless it be proved they are the descendants of Negroes left by the Spaniards. It will follow of necessity that they have been settled in America from the earliest ages. From the earliest ages. They've been there since the earliest ages. You hear this, my people? You've been here. Your ancestors. Who? The American so-called what? Blacks. All right? There's no proof. Unless they can prove, they haven't been able to. This was written in 1829. They still haven't been able to. All right? Until some facts. All right?
So I know History Will shared only this clip from this video, but in this video, it's about the diversity of ancient America. And in this same book, it's telling you about the so-called tribes or black tribes that straight Negro or black American blacks, but it's also talking about the light-skinned tribes. And he's describing all the different peoples here and how diverse it is in these old times, not because of $5 Indians, not because white people from Europe mixed with them. That's how they looked. Okay? America's the true old world, guys. Get that concept of crayon colors out your head. But yeah, I know black folks are learning that they're Indians, so we show this. We allow this. We allow the one-sided, just so they can get to know themselves a little bit. And hopefully from there, they start really learning about themselves, doing their genealogy and finding out, oh, I'm a lot more than just Indian. I'm a lot of things. This is like, I got a deep history. So Carlos, like DNA tests, they can help you find relatives. They can connect you to past ancestors, but they can never tell you where your people came out from, what landmass. That's entertainment. And you can't just spit in a tube and expect somebody to tell you, oh yeah, you're from here, you're from there, you're from there. It could only show you who you're related to. And then they want to label, and these same tests, they want you to think that black means African, that this means that what European means white. So the European in your DNA test could be black folks. The black could be the Indian that they put in West Africa. So don't do your genealogy, build your family tree, and look at how diverse your people, how many lines you got. You got 64 fourth great grandparents. You got 32 third great grandparents. Do you know all of them? Do you guys know all your third great grandparents? A lot of you don't. Most of you don't. A lot of you just go off that one Indian grandma that you know of, because there's probably more than just one. There's probably more than just one, but you're just going off that one Indian that is documented, thinking the rest are not Indians, thinking maybe one side of your family is Indian, the other side is not. It's everywhere. It's all black folks. You see all these books I'm reading, right? I hope you're not just listening to me talk, but listening to the videos I'm showing you. Like, listen to what it's telling you. These are anthropological books from the 1800s.
I'm going to read from this article. It says here, from Indians to colored people, the problem of racial categories and the persistence of the Siouans in North Carolina. This is written by Warren E. Miltier Jr., and this is from the North Carolina Historical Review, Volume 93, Number 1, from January 2016, pages 28 to 57, about 30 pages. From Indians to Colored People, the Problem of Racial Categories and the Persistence of the Siouans in North Carolina. Warren E. Milter, Jr. According to Ralph Lane's Raleigh's expedition leader in 1585, the Siouanok had 19 villages, with the capital being the town of Sewanokee near present-day Harrisville and Hertford County, North Carolina. They were the most numerous and most powerful of the Algonquin tribes in North Carolina, all right? They were Algonquin people, just like the Matamusket we got the other day. So they kind of like related to the Matamusket, the video we did recently. All right, so if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. All right, how they all were also misclassified and labeled people of color. All right, now again, this archaeological excavations at the site of Sewanokee in the 1980s confirmed Lane's report of its location. The town had been occupied by humans for 800 years, with radiocarbon dating established 825 AD. All right, so we just came back from the other website where it was saying at least 1200 years. All right, so again, their radiocarbon dates, are all questionable. Could even be a lot older. Says that modern historians have overlooked Siouan persistence because the local government classified Siouan descendants as colored persons instead of Indians. Oh, wow, really? They did what? They classified American indigenous people, right? Siouan descendants, Weepemoc, the Weepemoc descendants as colored persons, so-called Negroes, instead of Indians during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. All right? It's not me saying that. We ain't making this up. Since the late 1980s, a small group of scholars has begun to uncover the lives of Native people, documented simply as people of color. Again, since the late 1980s, a small group of scholars has begun to uncover the lives of Native people, documented simply as people of color. All right, and that group of scholars is now all of us right now. We're in this group now, and it's going to read from this article.
All right, you guys understand? You guys understand what I'm reading? I'm showing you. So if they did that to these people, and I've shown many examples of them doing that to many other Indian people, you guys got to start putting two and two together. Like, you guys, this is all the info that they don't show us. They don't talk about. They don't teach us this stuff. They want you to think it's just, oh, he's a black Indian because he's an African slave that mixed with a so-called Native American. And that's the wrong concept. These FBAs have, these Pan-Africans have, all these people have, all right? I just want to read what King Running Stream says. He says, go to the paper trail. I only knew about my grandma being Chickasaw. This is a prime example of what I was just talking about. He thought it was just his grandma being the Chickasaw. But his grandpa was connected way more tribes. I never knew he was a straight line to the Nasiman, the Pamunkey, and the Powhatan. You see? He didn't know until he started doing his genealogy. You guys, this is exactly what I'm saying. This is exactly what we find out when I help people with their genealogy. This is what I'm talking about. Carlos, check it out. Yes, Ancestry.com and FamilySearch.org. But this is what I want you to check out. If you want help, a guidance of how to work around the sites, check out my genealogical stories playlist. Let me show you right now, okay? And you guys, you'll get an idea of how you can do your genealogy, okay? Go check out this playlist, Genealogical Stories, because I navigate through the website and build people's trees, famous celebrities or just regular people, all right? And you can find out, you can get an idea of how to do your genealogy. And this is why I say, please catch up to my videos. You're missing out on a lot of good stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like you guys can see how I navigate through the sites, how I pick the records, how I go through the hints. Like I even do it live. I've done people's live like out of scratch like that. Like, hey, who wants to be next? And I have people hop on. I did a live like just like that without knowing the person. Not a lot of people that supposedly do genealogy can do that because they're not confident enough to do that. I am, because I'm not being biased. I'm trying to do as much as best as I can with the knowing how the software works. So you got ancestry.com and then you got familysearch.org. I recommend you do both. Use both. One of them is free, but the most user-friendly, the one we use most is ancestry.com. You do have to pay for an account. You can get the basic just so you can start your tree and everything, and then you want to continue later on, you do it. I think it's worth it. What is your finding out who you are? How much does that cost? That's priceless. Don't think about the money part because you probably spend money on things you don't need. This will help you a lot. Okay? So check out my genealogical stories playlist. That way you get a guidance of how to do these things, right? The later ones, the later episodes, I'm doing people's genealogy live. So I start from scratch so you guys can see the whole process. Okay? That's what we're doing. Let me see, guys. Hold up. Let me see. We're doing a lot here. Hold up. We're showing a lot here. Where we at? We got a whole bunch to go still. I think I'm gonna leave it for another day. But I wanted to go over this book real quick. So wait. We got like a lot of Black European videos. I just want you guys to understand. You got Indian and Black European in you, okay? That's just wanted you, because no other channel's telling you this. Only one, but he kind of tries to make them sometimes mostly the enemy, like they came and like not really telling you, yo, these are our ancestors too. Yeah, where you get all these last names from? Where you think you get all? It's not from the white man. It's not a slave name. These are your last names, okay? So, hold on. Yeah, okay, here we go. Just want to go ahead and go over these this image. Hold on. Okay, I just shared this book on my Patreon page, like literally before the live was over. It's called Virginia Tobacco Indians, Volume 1, Trading Card Collection, 1700s, right? Some of the first tobacco advertisements using depictions of Virginia, Maryland, Carolina Indians. How do you identify Black Europeans? Well, you got to go all the way back. That's the thing. If you get stuck in the 1800s, it's hard. But listen, very simple. Listen to me, Chiefly QB. If you get to an Indian, right? Even the Indian ones, how did they get their last names? How did anybody in your family get these European last names? If you can't prove that it came from a baptism because they were Indian, they got baptized, or because the slave master gave it to them, if you can't prove that, then automatically, guys, you gotta really think about, oh, there must be some Black European in this line too. When I tell folks, a lot of new folks come and watch me, right? Shout out to Science for the background music, by the way, that I got on right now. So a lot of folks come and watch me. They ask me, and I'll be like, listen. And I'm going to say it again. A lot of people get mad when I do this because they're like, nah, what do you mean? There's no 100%. Not in the 1800s, like rarely. Maybe 17, quite possibly. But even then, you got to remember, there was Black Europeans since the 1490s, since the 1500s in the Southeast. Hundreds of them. Indentured servants, colonists, prisoners of war, convicts. Coming in, running away with the Indians, working with the Indians, marrying the Indians, amalgamating, assimilating with the Indians, becoming part of the tribe. Where did the last name originate? You got to follow that, and you'll probably find that one Black European. Who passed the name around? Who gave them that name? Even if after that they were mixing generally with more Indians, okay, not everybody has the same blood quantum of Black Europeans or Black Indians. Some Black folks may lean more to Black Indians, but they still got Black Europeans. Some black folks may lean more to the black Europeans, but they still got black Indians in them. You gotta I hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. So the thing is, when I'm able to break through people's genealogy, like, you know, when we break those barriers and the wall in the 1800s, this is what you find out. This is like every time, like you find out some deep, like, whoa, these are all Europeans. I mean, look at Beyonce's genealogy, like, even though she has Indian in her, because Louisiana is a lot of people mix with the Indians, but there's a lot of black French and all that, the Acadians and all this other stuff, the Huguenots. So it depends. It's not one way, like, oh yeah, if you see this, then that's a black European. You just gotta understand the context of history. You know? Well, blood quantum, you know what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, okay, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but what I'm trying to say is black Europeans came mixed with Indians, all right? In general, on all your sides, all black folks have it. Whether they're more European or more Indian, whatever, you know, like if you want to count it. If you don't want to count it, that's fine. If you want to say they're all the same people, fine. Black Europeans and Indians are the same people. If that's what you want to say, okay, fine. But I'm just telling you. Okay? Incoherent babble. What you talking about, DJ? Oh, you're not talking about me, man. Wasn't George Washington a Huguenot? He was partly a Huguenot, yeah. He had Huguenot, one of his ancestors was a Huguenot. Not all of them. Not all of them were. But yeah, he had Huguenot blood in him. And we know he was described as a dark-skinned person in the primary sources. We know George Washington would be considered so-called black today. Yeah. So let's go over this book. Shout out to NAAS from Canada. All right. Again, watch my old videos of allegorical paintings of Europe, the black Indians, and the representation of the 4 continents. And you guys can see who made this book, who put this together, because he just kind of put it together. And he shares it for free in his site and on archive.org. You can find this for free, but I don't know if you can download it. I think you can. If you don't know how to find that, then you can just go to my Patreon, and also I just make it easier. You know, I just share almost all my books there, right? As American Indians throughout North and South America have traditionally used tobacco, nicotiana, for centuries and introduced it to Europe, Asia, and Africa in the 16th and 17th century. But we know that the mummies in Egypt and all that had nicotine. Were they probably from here? Most likely, man. But, you know. So he's talking about the Indians, right? It says tobacco was smoked throughout most of its range, but the tribes of the northwest coast of North America mixed it with shell lime and made it into small pellets, which were allowed to dissolve in the mouth. The tribes of Washington, Oregon, and a great part of California used it in the same way, but also smoked it. Along the eastern side of the Andean highlands in South America, tobacco was both smoked and chewed. The North American Indians used at least 9 species of nicotiana, most of which were cultivated. Nicotiana tabacum, the species to which practically all the modern commercial tobaccos belong, was grown throughout Mexico, the West Indies, and in northern and eastern South America. It was unknown north of Mexico until it was introduced into the Virginia colonies by English colonists. That is not true. This is what I'm saying. See, we just showed Powhatan, the Powhatan people, they had their own tobacco plantations when the Europeans got there. So it was already introduced from South Central America before that. In ancient times, it was being already traded, okay? Nicotina rustica, much hardier species of yellow flower, was grown by the Indians of the eastern United States and Canada as far west as the Great Plains and as far north as agriculture was possible. And it was the first tobacco grown in Virginia for European trade. So indigenous tobacco use is offering in prayer. Tobacco was offered to the creator or other spiritual beings as a sign of respect and to ask for guidance or protection. Connecting with the spirit world, the smoke from burnt tobacco was believed to be a pathway for communication with the spirit world. Rituals and ceremonies, tobacco was used in various rituals and ceremonies such as those involving healing, divination, or honoring the spirits. Smudging, burning tobacco could be used to cleanse and purify spaces or individuals. Healing, tobacco was used in traditional medicine to treat various ailments and promote healing. Gifts, tobacco was given as a gift to visitors or elders as a gesture of respect and goodwill. Ordinary smoking, while primarily used in ceremonial medicinal context, some communities also use tobacco for smoking. Important considerations. Distinction between traditional and commercial tobacco is crucial to distinguish between traditional tobacco, which is used for spiritual medicinal purposes, and commercial tobacco, which is manufactured for recreational use. And they add chemicals to all this stuff, right? They add chemicals to the modern stuff. Respectful use. The use of tobacco is often accompanied by specific protocols and rituals reflecting the respect for the plant and its spiritual significance. Variations by tribe. Specific uses and practices related to tobacco can vary among different Indian tribes, all right? So that says tobacco cultivation and trade in the 13 colonies, all right? So we know how much it was traded. You guys can pause this and read it on your own if you like, right? Get the screenshots or go to my Patreon or go to archive.org and download the book and read it on your own. Says the 1700s tobacconists were retailers who sold various forms of tobacco and related accessories like pipes, lighters, and matches. The demand for tobacco was high. Fueled by its use in smoking, snuffing, and chewing, tobacconists played a key role in the thriving tobacco trade, which was a major industry in Europe and its colonies by 1700. After cultivation, raw tobacco would be shipped out and processed with England and usually sold back to the colonies. Remember where we showed earlier the tobacco statues and Indians in England and all the shops and everything. They show them black Indians, right? So tobacco Indian advertisement. Old Virginia tobacco advertisements often depicted American Indians to connect the product with the indigenous peoples of the American colonies, particularly in the context of Virginia, where tobacco was a major cash crop. These ads frequently featured images of American Indians smoking pipes, often in feathered headdress and regalia. Tobacco Indian trading cards and collectibles, right? So literally trading cards back in those days, right? Trading cards in the 1700s of tobacco Indians, guys. There was a prevalent association between tobacco and indigenous cultures. In trade cards and tobacco packaging, these cards and packages often featured indigenous figures, sometimes in depictions of trade or capture, and the visual style reflected the properties of different tobacco varieties. For example, a tobacco wrapper for Gateskill featured Captain John Smith taking prisoner the Virginia Indian king of Paspagia, demonstrate the use of indigenous imagery to market and promote tobacco products in the 1700s. So examples of Virginia tobacco Indians, trading cards, right? Let me just zoom in. All right. You guys see? Look how they're drawing the Indian. The only thing about these things is that they like to see a lot of the times, this is one thing, that's a concept that people don't know. They would paint all indigenous people in the world as very dark skinned. That was the savage. So it doesn't mean that they weren't black. I'm just trying to make you say something, because they didn't all look the same, but they draw them all the same. Is what I'm trying to show you. So they always draw all the Europeans or civilized people white. A lot of these were black Europeans, though. Gateskill's neat tobacco at Fountain Star's Rotherhithe wall in New York Public Library, right? Look at this. This English tobacco label cruelly depicts John Smith's teacher. So John Smith, all these people were labeled as Swarthy, okay? This is what I'm saying. Of Opechancanough during 1609, following an expedition into Pamunkey territory. The written accounts was likely an embellishment of actual events and made by Smith for his 1624 publication, The General History of Virginia, New England, and the Summer Isles, engraven by unknown date. So see, they did, look, the engraving could have been done in the 1800s. This is what I'm trying to explain to you, not in the 1600s. So they're drawing all Europeans white. They're already starting to whitewash that, even though they're still drawing the Indians as melanated people, right? So, all right, some more images. And guys, I really gotta go real quick. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna just pause it right here. I'm gonna just play some music. Just look at this image real quick. I'll be right back. 1 minute. Don't go nowhere. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I had somebody at my door. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. It's an original hand-engraved colonial American printing woodblock from the Virginia planter William Gribble, carved in 1677. Carved, look at that. And was used to print small labels that held packages of shredded tobacco. All right. So let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, well, yeah, I don't mind you guys speaking. So, Best Virginia Tobacco, Barnstable, England. Very famous image here. I've shown this image a lot. Says the tobacconist William Gribble was a retail shopkeeper who made his own blend using Best Virginia tobacco and then wrapped it in labeled paper such as this one. It was customary to include a trading card with the location to where the tobacco product was processed, so they knew who and where in England to buy tobacco products from, which you'll see many examples shortly. Things to note, in the US educational system, when these prints are being thought about, they're always presented as. Listen to what they tell people. This is a good point right here. This is what they tell people that you're seeing, supposedly. It says, A, if the subject doesn't wear a headdress, for example, the card to your left, they're always listed as Negro slaves. You hear that? Or as if the fairly new term now being used, enslaved Africans. This is how they hijack the truth and rewrite narratives when they were always picturing American Indians. That's what they were doing at that time. And then what slaves? I mean, what Africans? Show me the ships in the 1600s that were bringing in Africans. Or B, if the subject is wearing a headdress and indigenous regalia, they are listed as Negroes or enslaved Africans in Indian attire or regalia. In Europe, in Europe, where they originated from, when these etchings are presented within European museums and galleries, they are majority of the time referred to as American Indians or tobacco Indians, okay? So he has included two examples below of the same image. They both feature the same subject in the background, one in regalia and one in without. Both images are in the same British Museum collection. The one on the left-hand side is referred to as an American Indian, as it should. The one on the right is listed as a Negro or African, which is a clear example of how the identities of some people being represented in trade cards are referred to. Okay, hold on. I just realized it's playing the same song. Okay, let's check it out. You see? So yeah, they changed up the Indian a little. So again, you guys can pause it if you want to take screenshots or whatever. Oh, what happened? Okay. Hey, what happened? How did it? Okay. Find Virginia tobacco. Look, a Mohawk Indian warrior from 1760, Anthony Walker. And then this one, 1790. Find Virginia tobacco. This is a supposed Mohawk Indian, you see? See his features? See what he looks like? Bailey Tobacco. Red Line Square. See that, guys? West Virginia Tobacco. Remember what I said earlier, guys. I know you guys are having your conversations, but remember, it's not just one thing. How did you get the last names? So what was your grandma's last name, Michael? Or is her maiden last name? And how did her family get that last name? Nottoway figure 9C. The Black Prince. Best tobacco London. You see that? Wow. The Nottoway. A Nottoway. It says the Nottoway, also Nottoway, are an Iroquois speaking tribe in Virginia. The Nottoway spoke in Nottoway language, which is a dialect of the Iroquois language family. Today, the Nottoway Indians are a state-recognized tribe in Virginia, but are not federally recognized. A large part of the Nottoway nations have been reclassified as Negro, Black, Mulatto, even white. Even white. So depending on how they look, they did this to people in the same family, sisters, brothers, cousins. Oh, he Black, he Mulatto, he white. And they're all just from the same grandparents. You know? George Goldwire's best sweet scented tobacco, the Golden Griffin and Crown on White St. Bristol. And again, they like to show the Europeans in white, meaning civilized to them. This is what they were doing, guys, all over the world. How do I know that? Because I know Francis Drake, because I know a lot of these people who they draw in these old books were black folks. They'll draw Charles V as a white man. They'll draw Queen Elizabeth as a white. This is what I'm saying. And we know these people were swarthy. They'll draw Abraham Lincoln as a white man. We know that was a black man. That's how I know. Okay? So that's why I know people get confused and be like, oh, the white man came. What white man? 1750, Benjamin Franklin was telling us they are a minority in the world. So imagine 1600s. This has never happened before. George Goldmire's best scented tobacco. All right. George Acton tobacconist, snuff maker, snuff. I got a whole video on the Indians doing that. Like, wow. The Europeans describing what the Indians were doing with the tobacco. They were also sniffing it a little. Makes cells and all sorts of tobacco and snuffs. George Acton. So these are your tobacconists. Chance Best Virginia. Check it out. British Museum. Description published by the British Museum tobacco paper of Chance tobacco and snuff seller. Best Virginia. You know, Africans didn't wear feathers, right? And what Africans were there? Show me the slave ships. British Museum, again. You see that? Salers, Best Virginia, 4th Street, London. You see that? Yeah. Crooks, Best Virginia. Watts, Best Virginia. Best Virginia, sold by Joshua Harson, Putney, Surrey, London. Huh. West Virginia, London. So trading cards, huh? Edward Finch, West Virginia. Scrimshire, West Virginia. Blackman Street. Sold in Blackman Street in London. Richardson's, West Virginia. See that? Medhurst Fine Tobacco. The Black Boy, the lower end of Aldermanbury, London. See that Black Boy? That says at the Black Boy in London. That's referring to Charles II. Black Boy was Charles II, guys. That's where they got that from. That's what I'm saying. But they want to show you white depictions. This is what I'm saying. We gotta know how to dodge the hijack, because they were depicting Europeans as they wanted to depict civilized as pale skin, and anything they consider savage or indigenous only dark and one way, looking one way. So I'm not saying they weren't, but just know that, because Charles II, Black Boy, was a black boy. So when it comes to Cherokee, Solomon, it's not just Tuscarora. It's many different Indian nations many different Indian people that eventually were classified as Cherokee or chose Cherokee. In the case, in the Chowan video, we showed that, why they chose it. And not only that, Cherokee includes a lot of black Europeans, guys. It's not one generalized thing. It's a confederation of different peoples, different Indians. It got formed in 1700s. Okay? Yeah, there was definitely a lot of Tuscaroras. There's a lot of different Indians in the so-called Cherokee. All right? I got the videos. I got the primary sources. I'm not just saying this. All right? So catch up on the videos if you've missed them. A lot of the Black Dutch. A lot of Juan Pardo's, leftovers, a lot of De Soto's, black Europeans that he left over. He came with 600 soldiers. He didn't take any back, barely. All right. Let's see. Ivory's, West Virginia. Yeah. So the Nasamon, right? John Bass, right? So with a black European, yeah. John Bass was a black European. So he passed that last name to a lot of the Nasamon Indians. And a lot of the Bass family, they only classify as Indians, but they have John Bass as like literally when you Google Nasamon, I think it's Nasamon, yeah. It'll tell you the story of how it starts with John Bass and an Indian princess. They don't tell you who the Indian princess was. What was her tribe? But that's where the Nasamon began. Through John Bass and his relationship with an American Indian woman. Okay? Oh, appreciate you, Solomon. Thank you for the donation. And yeah, and I hope, you see, man, you won't regret it, man. Like, this is what I'm saying. But you were right. A lot of Tuscaroras became known as Cherokee. A lot of Catawbas, a lot of Saponi. Saponi, the Blackfoot. When people say I'm Cherokee and Blackfoot, that's in general Saponis. Catawba clan was a Blackfoot, and the Saponi is a Tutelo word that means Blackfoot. Yeah, so when you Google Nasamon Indians, you'll see it starts out with John Bass and an Indian princess. And this is like very clear, and that's a prime example of what I'm talking about. I don't think it was Pocahontas, though. I don't think it was Pocahontas. You know, of course, Pocahontas is like a lot of the time genealogy, you got to be very careful. They generalize people just adding things. So if there's no real record from that time, a primary source, you gotta, it might be a whole other person, a whole other Indian princess from, she might not even be a princess, but most likely it was, in order to unify the two sides and have a claim to the land, and to be able to start your own tribe, like your own clan, literally. Her real name was Mary. Why would she have? Do you think that's an indigenous name, Mary? Like maybe that's the name they gave her? Yeah, I think it has something to do more with the Powhatan and Pamunkey people. So as we're looking at these images, right? Look how many images, and it's all depicting Indians, guys. It's not Africans wearing headdresses, right? Kemp's Old Tobacco Successor, New Church Street, Strand, London. Look at the moon, the crescent moon, the sun over here. Jesus. That's what Jesus means. The sun. Jesus. Geecis. Ironically. Which sounds very much like Jesus. Who also has the halo behind his head. The sun. So Michael, yeah, a lot of American Indians were sent, or free people of color, or freed people, freed blacks, so-called blacks, were sent to Africa. That's the American Colonization Society. Liberia, Monroe, it's named after the American president, Monrovia. So not just there, Ivory Coast, a lot of different places in Africa. All right. Let me see if I can pull up the map. Let me just show you this. This is still videos I gotta really get into and do for you guys, so you can have a proper understanding. Okay. Let's see. This is a good one right here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Is this one? Louisiana, look. Louisiana. This is in Africa, right? There's actually better ones. Look, Maryland. Maryland. This is the Ivory Coast, look. The Sapo. Look at Sapo. Is that Saponi? But not just Indians were brought over there, guys. Black Europeans were brought over there as well with the Indians. Anybody, they weren't really like, they were populating, colonizing. Hold on, we got better maps. Let me show you this. Hold on. I hope I'm able to find it. Hold on. There we go. I know I was gonna find it because I know real history, guys. So this is in West Africa, right? Look. You got Pennsylvania colony. You guys see that? So in reverse. People don't understand that a lot of these West African, it was colonized in reverse. Look, Mississippi colony. Right? There's a map of Liberia, right? Louisiana colony. Maryland colony. You guys see that? New Georgia? Oh, New Georgia, huh? Caldwell, Millsburg. Look at that. Is that African names? Colonial towns, native towns. Colonial towns. Look at all the dots. Look, the Sugary. That's an American Indian nation. The Sugary. Or Watery. That's a Eastern Siouan people. Eastern Siouan Indians. Hold on. Right, and then what happens? And then everybody just becomes Cherokee, because now the other Indians are gone. The other Indians are gone. All right. The sugary Indians. Look, sugary, right? Sugary. Look, sugary up here, and it says that's a native town. Native to what? America? Sugary town, native town, huh? But you got the sugary Indians, huh? Suggest sugary came from the Catawba word, people stingy or spoiled or of the river whose water cannot be drunk, also called suturis. No word of their language has been preserved, and that's what they say, right? But there's every reason to suppose that they belong to the Siouan linguistic family. They are Siouan. They're Eastern Siouan people, and were closely related to Catawba. They're closely related to a lot of Eastern Siouans. They're all family, and perhaps still more closely to the Shakori, The sugary primarily lived on and near Sugar Creek in what is present-day York County, South Carolina, and occupied parts of present-day Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. So they try to say, oh, the Cherokee were in Carolina. No, mostly the Carolinas was filled with Eastern Siouans. That was the major indigenous groups there. All right, you guys seeing and paying attention to what I'm showing you? Okay, sugary Indians. Okay, South Carolina, sugary. That's the hijack with the images. Yeah. Sugary tribe. Access Genealogy, pretty good website. Access Genealogy is a really good website for knowing about indigenous history. A small tribe supposed to have been Siouan. They were Siouan. Near the Waxhaw, who were also Siouan. The Waxhaw was the name of another tribe, which Andrew Jackson grew up with. Andrew Jackson grew up with the Waxhaw Indians. His people, the settlers, the white settlers and his family, they tried to, there's a lot of rumors that his mom might have been a little bit Indian. Eastern Siouan. These people were always at war with the Cherokee, and all so-called 5 civilized tribes were always invading these people. That's why he hated the 5 civilized tribes. So eventually it wasn't just hate. He did it in his way. He was trying to help them by them not getting reclassified and all that. He was trying to give them, relocate them, but he also had a personal thing against the 5 civilized tribes. They killed his brother. They killed Andrew Jackson's brother. So there's a history of Andrew Jackson that a lot of people in this community don't know, and they just want to make him the bad guy and all that. But he actually grew up with the Waxhaw, the Eastern Siouan peoples, and he lived through a lot of raids. He survived a lot of raids from the 5 civilized tribes. He saw them massacre a lot of the Eastern Siouan and his people and the colonists, his family. So there was like a personal thing when he got older against the 5 civilized tribes, guys. So there's a lot of things that people don't know. They're missing a lot of context when it comes to Andrew Jackson. Okay? They occupied a fertile district, and according to laws, inhabited many towns. That's why they got moved to Africa. Sugary, look at that native town, huh? Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that, right? Like, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to tell you. All right, they went that way, opposite. And not only from there, again, you saw Mississippi colony from Louisiana. A lot of the times when they freed, when the indenture was over, not so freed, but the contract, they sent a lot of the ex-servants, so-called free blacks, which included a lot of Indians and black Europeans, into Africa. They sent them to West Africa. So when you do your DNA test and you get, oh, you got relations from this country, and they wanna enlarge the percentages, that's the relationship you might be seeing. All right, that's the relationship you might be seeing. Okay, so again, we're gonna have really good video. I got the actual primary source of the American Colonization Society's notes and journals. I got those books already, and we're gonna probably read them one day. Okay, The American Colonization Society, initially the Society for Colonization of Free People of Color, not African slaves, pay attention, of America, was an American organization founded in 1816. They say, see, they were doing that since the 1700s, guys. But yeah, in general, 1800s, by Robert Finley to encourage and support the repatriation of freeborn people of color. Freeborn, make it make sense. So how are they African if they're free, like, and emancipated slaves, which doesn't mean African, to the continent of Africa. You see what they're doing, right? And it was both black Europeans and white Europeans doing this, not just the white man. Okay? It was modeled on an earlier British Committee for the Relief of the Black Poor's Colonization in Africa. Yeah, they were sending what? I told you, 1786. Let's read that. Let's read that a little bit. They were getting rid of black Europeans that way too, guys. This is what I'm trying to show you. They were sending a lot of black Europeans to these countries. A lot of West Africans have black European ancestry. They don't know. They just, oh, I'm African, black, you know. So like for example, the other day the lady asked me about Frances Cress Wilson, and you know, I didn't really look at her last name is actually Cress, not Wilson. She married a Wilson, and the guy was actually from Ghana, but he has a German last name. So what is his story? Remember, they're colonizing West Africa too. So he could have black German ancestry is what I'm trying to say. In Africa, born in Ghana, and then eventually his people moved to the States. Yeah, a whole cycle, a whole circle, right? A whole circle, triangle, right? It had nothing to do with the false stories of African slave, though. Not the Kunta Kinte version. So it says, the Committee for the Relief of Black Poor was a charitable organization founded in London in 1786 to provide sustenance for distressed people of African and Asian origin. So founded in London, they're trying to say all these blacks in London are from Africa, right? It played a crucial role in the proposal to form a colony for blacks in Sierra Leone. So where are they getting these blacks? If Africa's already blacks, where are they getting these blacks that they're sending there? What are these? They're getting rid of a population. They're getting rid of certain people, guys. The work of the committee overlapped to some extent with the campaign to abolish slavery throughout the British Empire. Look, the Black Poor was a collective name given in the 18th century. That's the 1700s. So, given to the 18th century indigent residents, in English and British history, poor relief refers to government and ecclesiastic. So they're not even talking about complexion here. They're getting rid of all their poor peasants and sending them where? To Sierra Leone. So wouldn't Sierra Leone be more white? What happened to all the descendants then? What happened? This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. This is just like when the ones they're sending to the Caribbean. Hundreds and thousands of them to the Caribbean plantations, black Europeans. And they want us to think, what happened? They just all turned black? Now they're all just black? Now it's just African descendants there in these islands? What happened to all these white Europeans, supposedly, that went there as indentured servants and worked in the plantations? They're still there. They mixed with the Indians, they mixed with other people, they all became Africans. Now in history, they reclassified people, guys. But the last names, you guys are still carrying them in the Caribbean. You guys are still carrying the black Europeans that were sent over there, the poor, the convicts, the prisoners of war, same thing. So look, this is crazy because they're not even talking about. Okay, so indigenous residents who were black descent. Okay, they are talking about. So who are these residents? So give me a name, right? Give me a name specifically. Who are you specifically talking about as black descent in London, right? In England. And prove to me that they're from Africa. Same thing they did in the Americas. So like I said, this is started all in the 1700s, not just in the 1800s. This is what I'm saying. The black poor had diverse origins. You see that? Okay, what does that mean? Who are these black poors in London? They could be black Germans, they could be Portuguese, Sephardic Jews, Moors from Spain and Portugal, Huguenots. They can be a lot of things. The core of the community were people who had been brought to London as a result. See, we know this is fake. Look, and they're showing Indians. And they're showing Indians, right? And then, so it could be American Indians that were already brought there too. That's the other thing. This is deep right here, and I hope you read between the lines of what I'm saying, guys. This is how they got rid of a lot of the black Europeans, guys, and sent them to the Americas and to West Africa. In reverse. Look, let me finish reading. The core of this community were literally servants, they're saying, sometimes as slaves or indentured servants. Or indentured servant. Which one? Where's the sources so we can actually read what it actually says? I bet you don't say nothing about Africans, the original primary sources. The numbers of the black poor were increased by slaves who ran away from their owners and found refuge in London communities, right? All these so-called blacks in London, right? Okay, this is deep. We're gonna do videos about this. All right, we're gonna do videos. We're gonna get the primary sources. You know I'm gonna do it, guys. You know I'm gonna do it. You know, I run into a certain topic and I'm like, yep, I already knew this. Like, I knew it. I knew it. And you know, I go look for the primary source. You see that the primary sources are telling the story a whole different way. And not about Africans. That's what I was saying earlier, Michael. There was always light-skinned people, but it seems like what the whole project of these incubator babies and the Cabbage Patch was that they were increasing the pale skin population, creating a so-called white race in a white superiority complex, white privilege. And this is all after the 1800s, culminating in the early 1900s. So from the early 1596, Queen Elizabeth I, who was also, this is why, look, whitewash, she was black. Queen Elizabeth was black, guys. She's described as a black woman. I've shown the primary sources. Check out my video on Queen Elizabeth. This is what I mean about dodging the hijack when they want to just show everybody as Europe as white and pale skin. Yeah, you missed that, Chiefly. That was in the beginning. We talked about that in the beginning. Yeah. So she complained about the presence of blackamoors in London. That's funny because she's so-called black. Can I get the source for that? Can I get the source for that? Or was she talking about a specific type of black folks? Can I get the source for that? Wikipedia, no source. The black poor had become a rare but noticeable sight on the streets of London. See how they want you to think? When she was black? How was it rare when she was black? Most of the black poor lived in impoverished East End parishes, such as the Mile End, in the ghettos, huh? That's what they're saying. A community took root in Paddington, West London. The black poor formed a portion of the broader Black British. Black British, huh? Look, where's the sources for all this? Oh, here's one source. Why did the same source they mentioned earlier, and that's from 2021. That's from 2021. It's not even a primary source. Okay? And you got to go into that journal and see if they're quoting primary sources, and then go look for those. And then read it for yourself. That's what I do here, guys, in this channel. So, I just wanted Ignatius Sancho. Look. I think this guy is this is a painting of a real royal European. He's somebody else that they tell us. Right? And look at the hidden hand. Look at the hidden hand in the painting. Right? Look at the Freemasonic. Yeah. This guy was not African, guys. They try to make him African. He was a black European. Okay? We're gonna have, I've talked and mentioned, and this guy too. This guy whose real name was Gustavus Gustavus Vasa. That was his real name. Known for most of his life as Gustavus Vasa. These are real black Europeans, guys. And his whole biography thing, that's controversial. Okay, so either way, this is what I'm telling you. They're getting rid of freed blacks or poor blacks in Europe and freed blacks or freeborn people of color from the States and colonizing Africa with them. Colonizing Africa. Okay? So when you take a DNA test and you're matching, you have some percentage to people over there, they exaggerate the percentages, of course. It's just showing you relationship. It doesn't mean your people came from there. It means that you guys have a common ancestor. That ancestor could be anywhere in the world, from anywhere in the world, the Americas, Europe, Asia. Okay? Okay, so how long we been here? 3.5 hours. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. I know I was showing the tobacco. Hold on. I know I was showing this. So here goes your freeborn colored people right here. They're sent to Africa, a lot of them. You see? So again, you can get this book on my Patreon page. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, shout out to anybody that became a patron during the live. Okay, appreciate you guys. I think I got one, I think, at least. But shout out to you. Thank you for that. All right. So you can get this whole Virginia tobacco. I might do a whole other video on it. I have, we just come up, but I just wanted to show you guys. I just shared this book on my Patreon today. If you want to have a PDF copy for yourself. I also have many other books. Many books. Exclusive stuff right here, right? And my Patreon, many exclusive videos. People enjoy it. They leave me comments. We interact in the community, right? Let me see if I can just go further down. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. I've been posting, sharing books on my Patreon for the longest time. Ever since I opened my Patreon page. Yeah, I got a PowerPoint presentation. Hold on, what's going on? Okay. Look, researchers, we read this whole book. This is a great book right here. Research into the Lost History of America. This is a great book. We read the whole book. I got the videos and playlists. This is me a little bit. Yeah. My PowerPoint presentation right here, my inscriptions. You can down sex and race, Jay Rogers. You guys know that. The Olmec book. Oh, hold on. We got way more. Hold on. Look, secret cities of old South America. So you get access to all this. Whatever donation you want to help me out with on Patreon. Worlds Beyond the Poles. Come on, we got the whole collection here. We got magazines here. The Ancient American. I'm gonna post way more. I got a lot of Ancient American magazine volumes here. Issue number 9 right here. When Scotland was Jewish. This is a great book too. We've broken down. We've read much of it. I got videos on this as well. Nature Knows No Color Line. These are like very popular books. Lost Outposts of Atlantis. That's regarding Father Crespi's Ancient Artifact Collection. Okay, that's a really good book. Mysteries of Ancient South America. The Genealogy of Nat Turner. Look at that. Look at this book. Symbols of our Celto-Saxon Heritage. This has to do with Israelite history, showing you what these emblems mean. Okay? Basically, I just wanted to show you guys, if you want to support me, want to help me out in these days, which I am trying to have as much money as I can right now because I got a trip going, I got bills, and it all kind of accumulated. And I got, next month, I don't know, I'm gonna be late on some payments and stuff because of this trip I'm taking. I kind of was forced into the trip a little bit. I know it sounds weird if I say that, but my wife's family and, we had to go, I had to go. So The Forgotten History of North Georgia. This is a great book too. This is a great book. Like, we have a video on this. Okay. Look, Making Indians White, the Judicial Abolition of Native Slavery and Revolution. This is a great article. We got 4 videos on this. 4 whole videos. I read the whole article. Look, in plain sight, little parts, certain chapters, because I still got to scan. I got the physical book. I still got to scan all the other chapters. Look, A Migration Legend of the Creek Indians. Right? Look at this. Abraham Lincoln portrayed as by Bing Crosby, blackface. This video got taken down from YouTube. The whole video, I had to like edit it, so I put it on my Patreon. Look, America BC. This is a great book too, by Barry Fell, Ancient Settlers and New World. Like, there's a lot of drop in my Patreon, guys. There's a lot of drop. This is the unedited version of Part 3 History or Myth, the Underground Stonewall, because I had to take out a whole documentary from the History Channel, you know, that was in here, included in the other parts of the video, right? So I put it on my Patreon. Okay, look, North Carolina's Free People of Color. I'm talking about it. Look at this, look at this. Video news clip from Germany that they didn't let me to put on Patreon, on YouTube. Look at this one. Reposting books, see attachments. Look how many books are right here. This is 1, 2, look, you got Search of the Black Dutch, 500 Nations, Atlantis in America, Queen Moon, the Egyptian Sphinx, Anacalypsis, American Holocaust, Ancient Monuments of Mississippi Valley, comprising, you know, like Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, Ireland, Ur of the Chaldees, you know, so many books, just in case people don't have access to the other posts for some reason. And then you got this one, which also has a bunch of books, you see? America Before, Graham Hancock's new book, 103 Facts About the Black Indians, Verrazano's Voyage. All right, Unexpected Phases in Ancient America, that's a real good one. Jews and Muslims in British Colonial America, we've gone through. Royal Book of Crests of Great Britain and Ireland. All right, you want to support me again, you can just check out my Patreon page and you can do that. I got the colorized pictures collection. I'm sharing there. I gotta share the rest of them. All right, you can have those. The True Author of the New Testament, and then I got Caesar's Messiah, and another one, the Piso's Further Writing from my the Gospels According to Piso series. That's a good one. Look, all these magazines from ancient. Look, these are good articles right here. We got to get into. I haven't even read these on video. Like 4 years ago, I shared this web 4 years ago, 2022. Come on now. I hope you guys are taking advantage. So many other ones, okay? And then again, check out my Patreon page. Check out my page. my Instagram page. If you're still not following me on Instagram. All right, I got a lot of short clips there and images, right? I got a lot of images there of American Indians that have kind of been forgotten, right? They kind of have been forgotten, you see? So I colorized them. A lot of work, guys. I put a lot of love and passion into this, right? Look, Servia Mitchell, Wampanoag, and her sisters and her daughters actually. You see? 1893 from Massachusetts. That's what Trump, oh, they don't look like Indians to me. And that's what I'm saying. You're missing the context. You're missing a lot of context, okay? So, again, I'm out, guys. It's late. It's been 3 hours, so we're gonna go ahead and call it a wrap up the night. We're gonna wrap up the night right now. Okay, thank you for everybody who came through. You know, I appreciate you guys coming through. Oh, I didn't even talk about this painting. I'm gonna have to talk about this painting to the right here. Shout out to the Kirkland files. Kirkland, right? There's some interesting story he told me about it, right? We're gonna definitely get back into that. But we showed Black European stuff. There was Black Europeans. Same people like this are being sent to America. They're being sent to West Africa. Okay? This is a real knight. This is a real, I think, royal person. They try to say he's Saint Maurice. Everybody's Saint Maurice in Europe, right? Even though they all look different. And they all got certain regalia that only certain people wear. They're holding certain things only certain people would have. All right? So we got to dodge the hijack. And again, America's a true old world. America is the true old world. Okay, hold on. I got a news. Shout out to Chase for the new beat. Check out this beat, guys. Fire beat. He was making it last night, and we were hearing him make it. Me and Joseph and Matt. I think Matt a little bit. Yeah. We were hearing him make the beat, and we were kind of rapping towards it while he was making it. Yeah, hey, I got a little crazy last night with the rap, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I just got inspired with this beat. All right. So if you want to flow to it right now, go ahead and do that. Right. All right. Shout out to Science for sharing the instrumentals with me. He's a good brother. He's like, selfless, right? He don't care. He didn't ask me for no money. He actually supports me. He actually donates and everything. He donated today. All right. So show him some love when you see him. Science. All right. Show him some love. And the intro beat was by Olmec 12. All right. And the background music you've been hearing the whole time tonight is from Science. All right. But we're going to go with one of his hits. All right. That he literally made last night. So I appreciate everybody that came through. And I hope you do consider supporting in some way. I prefer Patreon, but you can also be a channel member, get exclusive private videos. If you enjoy what I do, if you want to support and allow me to continue doing this, because we do got to feed, we got mouths to feed and everything and bills to pay. And YouTube, unfortunately, shadow bans me and hates and just makes it real difficult. So I appreciate my patrons for holding me up and allowing me to continue to make this like a full-time thing, because it does take time for all this and the research and all that and finding the books and all that and helping people with their genealogy and all that. I appreciate you guys. So thank you. All right. Hope you enjoyed today's little chat and presentation. All right. Hope you learned something if it was all new to you, if you're new to my channel. But we've gone over all of it and very thoroughly in specific presentations and videos, okay? Thank you for everybody that came through tonight. All right. If you saw this yesterday or later on, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Appreciate you very much. All right. Much love and respect. Pura vida, mi gente. Wow.
You're pretty good, but your style is no match for mine.